Hello there, everybody. How the devil are we all? I'm very well, I thank you for asking. Now, I am very well, but I'm also slightly confused, Ed. Because a new thing has happened, and I'm scared. You know I don't like new things happening on Twitch. MadCat Scotty I wants to collaborate, and I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what collaborating means. It's what the Labour Party do with the upper class. Because they're cunts. But I presume in this instance it means they want to stream with me. But they also then raided into me. So has their stream ended and I can't accept it? I don't know. I have no idea. And now they've cancelled their request to join. So I'm just confused and like upset. Yeah, MadCat, you know I love you. Thank you for the raid. I don't know. I don't know how to do the things. I'm scared. Hold me, chat. Hold me. If I know anything about my own history, collaboration is iffy. Well, we won't go into it, Lord Fruit. It was ages ago. We don't need to mention it, do we? We don't need to mention it every single stream. That you kind of, didn't put your best foot forward, lads. That's all I'm saying. You and John Paul Sartre significantly. Finland has the world's most unfortunately named bread. Okay. That is a thing. It's on the screen. It's on the screen, Phantom of Black. There it is. Amazeballs. Although is it Finland that has the word slot station, which means like the end of the terminus of a train line or something? That someone sent me once, and I laughed for. I'll be honest with you, longer than an adult should. Really. Very possible. I don't know. I barely speak English, mate. I have no fucking idea. Anyway, we're going to be doing some stuff today. It's going to be mainly Brit-focused because the British and their government are fucked. That's right. Completely and utterly fucked. If we get onto a hype train today, I will finger the Labour Party's chance of ever getting elected again because it fucking died. Today. Unbelievable. Anyway, we'll get into it. I'm going to do PMQs by myself on my onesies at first, and then hopefully we'll be on with No Justice of the MTGs. Although she is honestly, she is in demand right now. She was on Navarra earlier, and she's going to be on with she's going to be on with Curtis on the Normal Islands. She's in demand, is all I'll say. MadCat, hi Kev, Twitch hates apparently. Yeah, what MadCat? What was all that about? I mean, thank you for the raid, but did you want to collaborate? That's what it said, and I don't know what that really means, or like what the implication of that is. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And when I say that, I mean like I don't know what the ramifications of it are. Does Twitch take that into account for anything? Like, what's different than just having a person on to talk? I don't know. Considering that Navarra might TYT things, I don't know if her being on there is a good thing in the long run. Well, Phantom of Black, I don't think we can say Navarra have gone anywhere near down the line of the TYT. They've done some, I'll be honest with you, some kind of shady shit in the last, few months or whatever. But I really don't think I don't think we can say at all because TYT are basically just a Republican soft peddling brigade now. That's all they do. I don't know if we've heard anything from Cenk about his anti-war candidate president bombing children's cancer hospitals in Yemen. Whilst, of course, telling everyone via fucking WhatsApp or whatever telling all of the journalists in the world. I get that though, group messages are hard, aren't they? Honestly, the Chinese and Russians must be cackling their bollocks off. They probably don't have to work too hard to find out national secrets anymore, do they? All they've got to do is get fucking Pete Hegseth to, you know, accept a friend request on Facebook or something. And all of a sudden he's got the fucking nuclear codes. Hello, NYC guy, how are you? Yeah, I mostly watch this space with them. Yeah, that's fair enough, Phantom of Black. Like I say, I've not got, I've got my reservations about Navarra, but they seem a lot better, I think, than TYT. And let's bear in mind, right? Even if it doesn't end up being super brilliant in the end, if someone good like No Justice can like build their brand out of something like that, like with Emma Vigeland, right? Emma Vigeland came out of the TYT stable, so to speak. Not that they're horses, but you get the idea. Out of that oeuvre. Again, that's not the right word. In a different language. You fucked up saying a thing in 2 different languages now, Kev. Well done. I was going to do a joke about the Swedish thing, but that would give entirely the wrong impression. Anyway. Yes. Emma Vigeland built, obviously, a significant platform as part of TYT, and the fact that TYT has gone evil doesn't change the fact that she was able to build that platform and has now gone on to be, I mean, just way better. Both in terms of numbers, because TYT, no one watches fucking TYT anymore, and in terms of respect, dignity, actual journalism. And I think No Justice could be on that sort of level, but in a kind of Brit-bonger way. So probably not quite the same level, but, you know. She could be Emma Vigeland with beans on toast. If you'll allow me to racially stereotype my own country. That's Sweden. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Lillebor. Hello. I do think New Labour would be more progressive now the current government. Oh yeah, Tony Blair's government were more progressive. Tony Blair's government were significantly more progressive than this government. This government is just George Osborne. This is just George Osborne and David Cameron. That's it. Tony Blair's government, for all of the bad shit they did and the illegal wars, let's not look into it. They massively invested in the NHS, way more than this fucking government have done. They, to be fair to them, built up from the NHS, from the position where it was being completely fucking killed by the Thatcher / major governments of the 80s and 90s, into the biggest, so not the biggest, the best, the #1 rated healthcare service on earth. That's including like all of the cool fucking Scandinavian countries and all that shit. We were rated #1. And then the Tories came in and fucked it again. It's almost like there's a pattern going on there. It's almost like the Tories are trying to undermine it so they can privatise it. Crazy talk. Yeah, they did tax credits, which were, I mean, genuinely almost revolutionary in capitalist economic terms. A revolutionary for people's lives. The standard of living of a lot of very poor people were changed massively by the tax credit system. Both working tax credits and pensioner tax credits and all of that shit. They were a lot friendlier towards LGBTQ rights than this current one are. Just fucking rammed full of TERFs, scum proliferating everywhere. Yeah, they just were. They set up fucking gay civil marriage and all that sort of shit. Whereas this one, they're just awful. I don't know anything. They're not doing anything fucking good. They're just Tories. And Blair, again, don't get me wrong. Blair is scum and should be at The Hague. Frankly, I'd be more than happy for us to throw him to the people of Iraq and let them tear him apart like wild fucking dogs or something. That would be, I think, a perfectly morally justifiable course of action. But his government were better than this current government, which is saying something. Kev, how big did TYT get? TYT were massive back in the day. TYT used to do numbers. TYT were the progressive force. Like, people talk about the what do they call them? The not the progressive Dems, the oh, suck a dick. Anyway, and that was started by Cenk Uygur. Cenk Uygur has had an impact on American politics, like genuinely. He used to be okay. Never great, but okay. No, not the Squad. This was before the Squad. What's the... right on the tip of my fucking tongue. There's something Dems, and I can't remember the fucking name of it. Anyway, and it was like a chance to get more progressive people elected. And they did, you know, they got a number of people in. And they exerted a small amount of leftward pressure upon the Democratic Party for the first time in recent... Justice Democrats, fuck's sake! Yes, the Justice Democrats. So, like, Cenk Uygur's had a genuine impact on American politics. It's just he's sold that now completely and utterly to the to Peter Thiel. Brought to you from the Polymarket Studios. Fucking useless cunt. I think New Labour would have introduced House of Lords reform and voting reform and changes in welfare. Well, to be fair, actually, New Labour did introduce Lords reform. Not the Lords reform that this current Labour government did. Sorry, I should explain for any foreigners listening. New Labour refers to the Labour of like Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. So think mid-90s to 2010. Right? And then so when I say New Labour, I don't mean this newest version of Labour. That's not what it refers to. So, yeah, New Labour, 97 to 2010. That was the years they were in power or in office. But they were, you know, Tony Blair was leader before then, of course. Did introduce Lords reform. People forget how fucked up that system was before. They were like, literally, if you bought a piece of land, like for instance, right? Technically, he bought the land just after the law had changed, but the Liverpool centre forward, Djibril Cissé, a man from Ghana who played for Liverpool briefly, unfortunately broke his leg. Real shame. Anyway, and he was a good lad actually, because he bought this land, he bought this house, I should say, with the land attached to it, and attached to that was a lordship, right? And he was actually fucking based as hell, because the local fox hunting organisation in the area wanted to continue to run their fox hunt through his land, and they had to ask his permission because he was a new owner. And he said he didn't know what that was, so he met with them, and they explained what fox hunting was, and he told them to fuck off. Good lad. So he wasn't was he Ghana? No, he was from France, wasn't he? I'm thinking of Diouf. Anyway, Djibril Cissé, right, played for Liverpool. And, yeah, so he bought that, right, and he had a lordship. Now, if he'd have bought that land 2 years earlier, that would have entitled him to sit in the House of Lords. Because he played professional football and could afford to buy a house that was big. He'd have been able to sit in the House of Lords. Because they had inheritable lordships. Literally passed down from family to family, like something from the 15th century. And because he bought that, he would have taken on that lordship. He'd have been a member of the House of Lords. Which is a bit ridiculous when you think about it, isn't it? Tony Blair came in and stopped that. He introduced significant reform on that side. So the, what were they called? Not heritage peers. My mind has gone fucking mental today. Anyway, yeah, they were gotten rid of. So that's nice. So literally, the New Labour government were more progressive on the House of Lords as well. Fucking 30 years ago. Well, nearly 25 years ago. No, not life peers. Because there are still life peers. Hereditary peers. Boom! Thank you. See, I can't remember words. I can't remember justice or hereditary. I'm fucking useless over here. Anyway, hereditary peers were done away with, which is good. There are still life peers, though, and that's fine. I mean, I don't really... Look, if you're going to have a House of Lords, who gives a fuck? If the whole question of it is experience and worldly wiseness and all of that, then yeah, have peers, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Ecclesiastical peerages are also, but by the way, everyone go and follow Mix Vivian Wolf. It's fucking awesome. Yes, the ecclesiastical peerages. So again, the British Parliament is so ridiculous. This is why I say we don't really live in a democracy of any sort. Really, the executive isn't elected. The upper chamber of the legislature isn't elected. None of the judiciary are elected. The fucking head of state isn't elected. And even the one body that is elected is elected on first past the post. So you can get a party getting 27% of the vote and a majority, and you can get a party getting 15% of the vote and 10 seats. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh. Anyway, and one of the things with the House of Lords is the ecclesiastical peerages, which means there are certain positions in the Church of England, because we also have a state religion. In case you didn't know about that, yeah. So the head of state becomes the head of the Church of England, and we all have to pay essentially a tithe to a religion we don't belong to. Democracy. Anyway, certain positions like the head honchos, okay. Archbishop of Canterbury, Uno, Archbishop of Durham, Archbishop of York, etc., etc., all the way down to, I don't know, the top 20 or 30 of them, whatever it is. And they all get seats in the House of Lords as well. Yeah. Now, the bizarre way in which it's gone, Britain has moved so right-wing in recent decades that the vicars, so not vicars, archbishops, are some of the most progressive people who sit in that place. Whenever you hear them get up and speak, it's like a breath of fresh air. They actually are pretty fucking sensible. Decent enough people. I don't necessarily agree with all of their politics, of course. And I certainly think they should recuse themselves entirely from matters of religion, but that's a slightly different matter. Yes, anyway. But they shouldn't be there. They have absolutely no business in the running of government. They have zero democratic legitimacy, which is also true of the rest of them, of course. But most of them, at least, were at some point an elected representative or something, whereas these dickheads are just priests. Well, they're not priests because they're not Catholic, but that's a thorny issue in of itself. There are 26 of them, known as the Lord Spiritual, because we're a fucking joke of a country. True, Viv. 100%. That okay. I don't know that he looks much more derp there, in all honesty. I think he's just that derp most of the time. Anyway, I promise you, we are going to get on to matters of a British nature soon. Anyway, right. So, what was I saying? Yes. So you can. Anyway, Britain's rubbish, but I still have to fucking live here, and unfortunately, this is capitalism. Load of bollocks. Anyway, you can help me survive in the capitalist hellscape if you wanted to, in the following ways. If you're on Twitch, hello Twitch, you can go. You can hit the follow button. You can subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give subs to the community. You can do bits messages, 200 bitty bits or more will get you a text-to-speech. You can do super chats via the Streamlabs link below. I've got Patreon and PayPal. I've got Discord, Blue Sky, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and something else. What is this? Hello? I pressed accept this time. Okay, MadCat, I pressed accept and I don't know what the fuck it's done. Okay, I mean, I can't hear you, so I don't even know what's going on, but yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, if you're on YouTube, hello YouTube. How are you all? Welcome in, you delightful bastards. You can subscribe to the channel for fuck all. It's free and sexy. You can also become a member for 99 pence, which is like literally no amount of money. You can give memberships to the community at that exact same price. That is the only price there is. You can do super chats as well, which I will read out, especially if they're grossly offensive to me. Are you using Chrome? Yes, I am. Is it not allowed on Chrome? Because I'm not fucking changing. I'm going to talk about the spring statement. I am, but I'm going to talk about it later. Possibly with no justice, possibly not. But it's bad. It's very bad. You're always welcome on, Viv, if you want to. That's fine. It's the morning. Kev, you will never guess who is standing for the Green Party councillor. It's the Jack Mellor. Good God. What a time to be alive. Okay, I'll press accept again. Oh, it did it this time. Joining MadCat. Get started. Never guess who is standing for the Green Party councillor. It's the Jack Mellor. Good God. I can. You're behind on the stream, MadCat. Okay, I'll press accept again. MadCat. Oh, it did it this time. MadCat. Hello, MadCat. Hello, MadCat.
God damn it. Hello.
Hello.
Can everyone hear?
Everyone can hear you now, yes. But you can't have the volume of the stream on. MadCat, you can't have the stream on because it's like 20 seconds behind and I can hear the echo. MadCat! Yeah. Can't have the stream on because it's like 20 seconds behind and I can hear the echo. MadCat!
I'm done. Okay.
Thank you.
Can you still hear me?
I can, but you can't have the fucking audio and I can still hear the audio.
God damn it.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking.
That's why this
honest.
Share call doesn't work. God damn it, Twitch, I hate you.
Anyway, what the fuck do you want?
I just want to help you get through the PMQs because I watched them earlier on, then I turned it off before Rachel restarted speaking.
Oh well, you probably won't want to watch later then because we're going to watch her speak.
All right. I'll stop.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll go away.
Okay. Well, thank you for popping on.
Bye,
This was yeah.
Donated $5.
Thank you.
Do you want to do a collaboration? I need to get a lot of people either Winter Velodrome in Marseille. That's for them to watch roller derby. Yes, that's it. Roller derby.
What kind of evil machinations have you got planned for the Velodrome in Marseille? You monster. Anyway, yeah. Thank you, Lord Fritos, for that. I hope you enjoyed that. That was honestly mind-blowingly stressful for something so small. Anyway, thank you.
Stop it. Get some help.
I fucking should, mate. How do I phone it? I don't know. I don't know. Is the answer Mix? Mix. Why am I calling you that? Viv. What? Yeah. I don't know. It's the new thing they've got collaboration, and I don't know how it works. It clearly does work. We just heard it work within reason. No, you don't need to be sorry, MadCat. That was fucking gold. I might clip that out and put it as a fucking YouTube short. That was fucking amazing. If this escaped you, what's this? Veldiv Roundup. What is this? Was a mass arrest of Jews in Paris by the Vichy police. Okay. Okay, they were combined in the Velodrome de Hivres. But that's in Paris. That's not in Marseille. And why... Hang on a minute. Hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa! Lord Fritos. Who were you trying to round up in the Velodrome? Because I do hope that wasn't a very, very, very poor taste joke. Like, extraordinarily, like, anti-Semitically bad taste joke. Who were you rounding up? I missed part of the message, because I don't know if you noticed, I was a bit busy trying to not have a fucking aneurysm. Oh, did you want to come on, Viv? You can, if you want to. I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Dingus Van Sant, also for... I didn't even get to It's a Morton's news. Jack Mellor, the Jack Mellor, is standing for the Green Party. So I can now interview them as like a... It's a proper news bit. I can do a journalism with the Jack Mellor. Last time I tried to call into something through Discord was to Robertron to play Darkroom. I'm awaiting your pleasure in the foyer, sir. Oh, no, fuck that. I'm not going on Discord. No, I'll send you a thing. Hang on a minute. What are we doing? I'll send you a Google thing on Discord, but it won't be for Discord, because Discord sucks donkey anus. Use microphone and camera. Allow this time. Copy that bollocks. Boom shakalaka. Honestly, this is the best stream ever. Why wouldn't people want to give me money for this? It's fucking incredible. It's like Hassan, but I don't get up and go for a piss and just leave stuff running. Where are we? Oh wow, it's been ages since I've contacted you, Viv. Is that you? Vivian Wolf, there we go. You can't put the phrase mother in like Japanese type and expect me to know what the fuck that is, Viv. That is outrageous. There we go. Anyway, Viv, go to that, for fuck's sake. Yeah. I was only pretending to be a bad person who was going to do random because I'm deeply fucked up and historically. Oh, okay. Fair enough, Lord Fruiters. I'll let you off this one time then. But like, chill, for the most part. Thank you, Mr. Phil Decker. With Kneecap movie last night, I don't know what the fuck that means, Phil Decker, but I appreciate the bits and the fact that you're well on the Brits outsource. Also, if we get to the next level of the hype train, I'll finger something. I don't know what yet. Viv, go to the fucking Discord. Check the link on the Discord. Viv! I swear to God.
I was doing it, Kev.
This is the last time I ever work with women. I swear to fucking God. Both of you. What a nose. What a nose.
You can't even tell the fucking difference between mother and Mothra. Like,
is that Mothra? Why don't... If it's in English type, I can't fucking read it. So I don't know what to do with the Japanese writing or whatever. Or Japanese font. It's not really Japanese writing.
Yeah, it's not actually Japanese writing. It's like random Chinese and Japanese characters made to look like English.
Also, what gender is Mothra? Could it be a mother?
Mothra is a girl, yeah.
Okay.
Well, sort of. Depends which incarnation.
I'm already disgusted that this is happening, this conversation. It's so nerdy. I just can't.
Sound like Lily Savage. Fuck you.
I sound like Lily Savage. What?
I had told I sound like Joe Brand, but
I get told I sound like
Lily Savage.
John Peel,
Mm.
which is a hell of a reference point that people like that might have been cool in 1976, but not now.
Main thing I know about John Peel is that he got raped by Jermaine Greer.
He did get raped by Jermaine Greer,
Yeah.
and also probably did some raping himself.
Oh yeah, he was also like a pedo or some shit as well, wasn't he?
I think I think it was like mandatory if you worked for the BBC at any point between like 1958 and 1993, you had to have been a pedophile.
Hmm.
I think that was a lot on the CV. And you had to be middle class as well, obviously.
True. Middle or upper middle class and kiddie fiddler.
Yes.
Yep.
That's how you worked for the BBC or became a Tory
They asked
MP.
you that at the interview, didn't they?
They do indeed.
And they're like, "Have you ever touched a child?"
And you're supposed to tap your nose and go, no. For legal reasons. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Exactly. Otherwise the wokes get you. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm being told technically Mothra is asexual in reproduction capacity.
I don't know if Kat has read as many Mothra comics as I have. I'm not gonna debate her on that, except to say that Mothra definitely lays eggs. So,
Well, that could still be asexual, couldn't it?
I mean, I guess yeah. Like, I don't know if she's mated. She doesn't mate with other Mothras.
Well, there has to be some sort of reproduction system.
Right, this is like Japanese kaiju shit. No, that doesn't.
Yeah, that does. No, look.
It doesn't have to be anything that makes sense.
It does have to make sense. There has to be a biological. No. Fuck this noise, right? This isn't magic. I'm led to believe that this is a piece of parabiology. So there has to be a parabiological way in which this takes place.
No,
otherwise it's just fucking magic, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's bollocks.
Fucking magic.
No, it's not literally magic. It's a fucking moth.
The first film, she has a couple of little fairies running around announcing everything for her.
I've had a couple of little fairies dancing around in here as well, but I don't fucking go on about it.
I'm just saying.
That was a fucking wild weekend as well.
Geez.
Anyway.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay.
Anyway.
A hot minute, Kev.
It's been a while, but you know what? We'd never been away.
I know.
The banter's there.
Straight into insulting me within, like, 10 seconds. Not even that.
I just checked back on the fucking thing. Most of your messages are "oi cunt." So you wind your neck in. That's all I'll say. If we're gonna go on about who's insulting who. Anyway.
I'm going back and you're not wrong. Anyway.
Wasn't there actual magic involved? I don't fucking care. It's if you've got moth in the name, I'm assuming it's like a moth creature. It's some sort of weird ass moth. So there has to be a weird ass moth way of fucking or something.
It's the giant moth goddess of an island nation. Yeah.
So it's an island nation, so it's a living, breathing thing. It needs to have children. There needs to be some sort of succession issue with the queen or whatever. I don't know. Even fucking Yahweh had a baby. Albeit very rapily with a 13-year-old. We don't want to go into it, but it happened.
It did happen.
Yeah.
God is a pedophile.
And Joseph just had to go along with it, the poor lad. I mean, is there a bigger cock in human history than Joseph? Really? When you think about it. Although, to be fair, he was also trying to fuck a 13-year-old, so, like, do I give a shit?
Good point. How old was he?
It doesn't say, but, he was out working and that, so he was probably at least over the age of 8 at the time. That's an adult.
That doesn't indicate much at all, does it?
He had a beard, but, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if he had a beard. I don't think it mentioned, but he probably did.
Yeah, he has a beard in all the art, because...
True, but Jesus is white in all the art as well.
That is very true. Jesus is very white in all the art.
Well, actually,
I love-
the further you go back, the darker he gets, and not just because of like staining or whatever, but literally like they were aware that he would have been brown, and they've just sort of they've Michael Jacksoned him, but over a longer period of time, you know.
There's a new Mothra comic out actually, Mothra Queen of the Monsters. You should. It just started this March. You should read it, Kat.
Talking of Queen of the
art's
Monsters, Rachel Reeves.
Oh yeah, what about?
She unfortunately she's alive.
Yeah, she's a massive fucking bitch, isn't she?
She's not great. No.
God, I hate her fucking face.
I hate everything about her. And what especially I find galling is that the fact that they're all trying to like girl boss it.
I know.
Like, did you see that video she put out of her like marching girl boss style? And I'm like, you're about to go and take away, like, you're about to immiserate the poorest in the nation, you evil bastard. Like, I don't want girls growing up to do that. I don't want girls following your fucking footsteps. You're evil.
Female drone pilots. More female drone pilots.
She really is. She's the people, genuinely, the people who are girl bossing this are the same people that would have been fine with Auschwitz as long as there was 50% female guards. They wouldn't have given the slightest
For
fuck.
real.
They're just completely amoral scum. Fuck them.
And it's driving me nuts. It's actually so fucking insulting. The line that the government have decided to take. We're just going straight into it, I guess. But like, yeah. The line that the government have decided to take is we're helping people back into work. So what they're doing is they're giving more money to the people who are able to work and then taking money away from the people who are not able to work in order to make their lives a living hell, in the hopes that there are enough malingerers, enough people who have been put in the not capable to work category, or it's the not suitable for work or work related activity category. Enough people there that are malingering, that are faking, that are actually well enough to work, that will be forced to work because of it. And those people who aren't, well, you're just fucked, right?
But not just that, but I mean, that line was literally proven in court to be a lie. Literally, the Tories tried to say that basically these exact changes were for the good of the disabled, and it was literally found that couldn't be substantiated in court, and so they were literally taken to court and proven that consultation was basically fucking illegal because they lied to people. And now this is being peddled out as, like you say, something good, and it's fucking evil. Like, how you can possibly justify taking away, like, all of it's bad, but literally just if you're under the age of 22, it doesn't matter how disabled you are.
No, you're fucked. Yeah, I think I posted about that on Twitter a little while ago, because I was a care leaver, okay? I left care at the age of 16. I'm sure I've talked about it before. I was fucking homeless. I was living on the streets. Then I put up a tent in the fucking nature reserve in Hilly Fields in Colchester, okay? I was fucking hunting rabbits for my dinner, shoplifting egregiously. But I didn't know that you could claim benefits. I didn't know anything about benefits. Nobody had told me shit, right? I'm a 16-year-old who's just basically been made homeless coming out of the care system. What am I supposed to do if I'm like severely fucking disabled? At that point, I am severely
essentially
now,
essentially like, just die, I think is the point, isn't it? Yeah. And this is the one. This is ultimately the one, right? The statistic we've been waiting for, and this is from the OBS statistics itself, that government's the estimate is that an additional 250,000 people, including 50,000 children, will be in relative poverty by 2029-30 as a result of these changes.
Yeah, they've been talking about that on LBC today. I was listening while I was doing the washing up.
250,000 people. 50,000 children.
50,000 children. And actually, it was 250,000 put into relative poverty, including 50,000 children.
Yeah.
And 400,000 into absolute poverty.
Yeah.
Which apparently there's some crossover between those. So it's not in total 650,000. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Maybe it's like the 400,000 are also included in the 250,000. But at any rate, it's way too many fucking people. And the government, a Labour government, is like the one thing that Labour MPs are supposed to give a fuck about. It's poverty, right? Like
Yeah, the old phrase was it, but Nye Bevan, I think, who said that the Labour Party is a moral crusade, or it is nothing. And it's not only nothing; it's now actively in the fucking way.
Yeah. And oh fuck, I had a point, but then somebody decided to try and fucking call me on Discord while I was talking to you, and it made my brain explode. I hate when that happens.
Something about the, you don't know if it was counted in the 250,000, the relative and the absolute poverty and something.
No, it's totally gone. Next thing, what's happening?
See, this is why you don't work with the ladies. You just don't. Can you turn Viv up a bit, please, Kev? I'm actually not sure that I... Actually, yeah, I can. I'll just have desktop audio a bit louder.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Kat was very quiet when she was on stream earlier as well. So.
True, but I think she might have been in a different room messing around with the fucking stream. I'm only playing.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. So also, what they've managed to do is spend their time going around the media going, hey, maybe these people aren't as sick as they think they are, or like as they say they are. And we had Tom Swarbrick on fucking LBC today. Loads of LBC presenters have done it, and you might hate me for talking about LBC, but it is one of the most listened to political radio channels on the fucking in the country, right? It's pretty relevant. They do have a lot of interviews with MPs and so on. But yeah, so Tom Swarbrick was on fucking LBC going, I know people who work with ADHD and autism, therefore, you know, people with autism can definitely work. And it's like, why do you think they call it the fucking autistic spectrum? Tom, you fucking moron.
Would it be this particular clip?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Again, I get ADHD. I really do. I understand autism. Believe me.
So no, you don't.
Can you get cancer instead? Because I'd quite enjoy that, Tom.
I understand all of this. I still think, and maybe I'm old school, I still think the people in my life I know who have diagnosed ADHD and autism, who are in mainstream education, who will go into the world of work, hopefully, all being well, they're not disabled.
Wow, the people you know aren't disabled. Well, therefore, everyone else can't be disabled.
So, there's a couple of things that really fucking annoy me about this, right? First off, ADHD. I don't know how many people are claiming pit mobility or whatever, or higher levels of disability for ADHD. I think it's probably none, right?
Well,
maybe
it's like
an exacerbating factor in other disabilities, but
they always go over the top with this shit, like the whole thing about they're giving beamers to people who wet the bed. Firstly, wetting the bed is one of the symptoms.
Yeah, that was Nick Ferrari, wasn't it?
Well, exactly, yeah, wankers again on the same fucking station. It's the same fucking bullshit, right? It's bedwetting is a part of a much larger mental health problem. Yeah. So nobody is getting fucking benefits just for pissing the bed.
All the papers fucking do this shit as well. Yeah. It's like it bears mentioning just because people might find it useful in future. It's like the phrase after X happens after X. They will use this all the fucking time. They used it all the time in like the anti-trans campaign, right? It will be like teacher loses job after misgendering student. And of course, everybody goes, oh, that sounds fucking ridiculous, right? Like accidentally misgendering a student. No, turns out they engaged in a concerted harassment campaign and started throwing piles of shit at the kid, you know? But they also happen to misgender them, so the headline's not technically wrong, right? And it's exactly the same.
But it would be just as dishonest to say, like, oh, this teacher got sacked after having coffee in the morning. I mean, technically they did have coffee that morning. But, like, it's a little bit ridiculous to say that was really the reason why they got fired, or to imply that, you dishonest hacks.
Yeah, and the same thing is happening here, where, like, lesser conditions, like maybe a kid wets the bed, or, you know, somebody has ADHD. Like, that's not to downplay how ADHD can be for some people, but like it's usually not a serious mobility issue or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas these changes are
Yeah.
because you've got to get to level 4 or whatever on the thing. Some of the people,
Yeah.
even on level 2, it's like needs significant help with washing below the waist. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
someone who needs help washing below the waist
So
is
I know
quite severely disabled, actually.
I know how that was written in the release, and I think they meant it the other way around because it just makes no fucking sense otherwise. It said people who need help washing below the waist will not meet the threshold, whereas people who need help washing above the waist will meet the threshold, right? And I think they just fucking mix those two up. But either fucking way.
Yeah, either way.
It's
If you need
just
help going
ridiculous,
to the
yeah.
toilet, if you need help cleaning yourself, that is a very significant issue, and I think
You're pretty disabled.
it's gross for you to like force people into work. Now, if those people can find work that they want to do, fine. By all means, give them the help and the accommodation to be able to do that. Great. But
Well,
a
that's the thing,
lot
they're
of
not
people
doing that.
won't be able to fucking do that, and that's
They're
disgusting.
not doing that,
No,
right?
of course.
The only way they're trying to quote unquote help people into work is to punish them for not working, regardless of whether they can work or can't work. What they're not doing, and I know if a government official did respond to this, they would say we are getting waiting lists down, but they're not getting mental health wait lists down currently.
No.
Those have not fallen. Those are like that, and that's a huge chunk of disabled folk right there, right? The kind of work coaching that you get from the job centre is garbage. It doesn't help you into work. They have thankfully one positive thing I can say about this Labour government is their attempt to end their attempts to introduce this new workers' rights legislation, right?
That is something. Yeah.
That's positive. But there's not a huge amount in there that protects disabled people from employment discrimination, and I don't know if legally there can be, any more than saying it's illegal to discriminate somebody for having a disability. It's just like that happens anyway, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. So you have to set up programs that encourage employers to employ people with disabilities, right? They're not doing any of this shit that would actually help people into work. For some of my mental health issues, I had to wait 8 months to see a fucking therapist, right? All the while shit getting worse. Like, this is why people end up on long-term disability, because the healthcare system's fucking collapsed, and employers don't want to employ disabled people. Why would you? If you can get an able-bodied person to do a job, why would you employ a disabled person who is less capable of doing that job? You just wouldn't, right? And I don't necessarily blame the employers for that. First time in a while, I know, anarchist, not blaming the bosses, but like it's just the fucking rational choice as a business owner to take the person who's more likely to do the job better, at least in your view, right? Yeah. So none of these. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I just got a very important question from chat. Is God being reborn as Jesus the first isekai story?
Oh, interesting. The answer is no. This is a common example of euhemerization. Euhemerization was the practice of taking gods and placing them in stories on Earth. So you have, for example, you could go as far back as Odin coming to Earth as a bull to take away, what the fuck was her name? The lady? I forget. But yeah, Odin used to visit Earth in various guises on a regular fucking basis. But there's
loads of the ancient Greek gods did as well.
Yeah.
To fuck around with the humans and shit. Yeah.
There's a shitload of examples of gods.
I think Zeus fucked literally every creature that has ever existed. That guy was fucking everything.
It's true. Odin was a horny motherfucker. And yeah, the Greeks were just horny as shit too. The Romans were very horny. I'm pretty sure Jupiter was supposed to have come down to...
It's only really post-Victoriana that Britain is sort of like that. Really, isn't like that. We're pretending that horniness just sort of disappeared for a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, really. Because we don't... This is a pet peeve of mine, actually, as a history graduate, right? Postgraduate, actually. But
Ooh.
no, I started a postgraduate program and then dropped out because of disability. But pet peeve, okay. Do you know the Venus of Willendorf?
No, but it sounds geeky as fuck.
Okay, well, I mean, it's basically just this little statue of a fat woman with big old titties, right? And people refer to it constantly as a fertility icon, right? And there's loads of examples of this, like old stone cocks, like drawings of ladies with big booties and big titties, right? Drawings of cocks all over the place, and
Honestly, it just sounds like my mind.
right, exactly. A lot of historians will go, this must have been used for some kind of ritual purpose. That's a fertility goddess.
The big fertility goddess thing. Yeah, okay.
Right?
I didn't know its name, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah. They're like it's a fertility goddess, and like what actual evidence do we have that this is a fertility goddess and not just a dude like carving a
thick bitch
chick?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like. With all the stone penises, like they could be dildos, some of them, okay? Like they could easily be dildos. But let's not forget that for as long as human beings have existed, dudes have really enjoyed drawing cocks, okay?
that is true.
Dudes love drawing cocks on shit, whether it's your mate who's fallen asleep after drinking too much or the cave wall because you're fucking bored. They love drawing penises.
I literally couldn't even guess the number of ASCII cocks I've sent to my friends.
Absolutely. And so it doesn't have to have a ritual purpose. And I think that's one of the things that really annoys me about historians and historiography is the need to ritualize and religiousize everything that they find that they can't immediately understand. They're like, it must have been a ritual, it must have been used for some kind of religion.
But there's definitely a level of like stupid prudishness. The number of times it'll be like an ancient Greek thing of like obviously two lesbians, and they're like, these two female friends lie upon a bed.
Bro, was it Abraham Lincoln who slept in the same bed as one of his friends for like a year and a half and then fell into a deep depression after they fell out? Like,
that was something like William Derrickson or something.
Something like that.
I think I don't think he was his friend, but I think he was also employed as a security guard or something. And like, yeah, they were obviously piping. Obviously, what the fuck? And like, he still did his like married duty. Like, he had kids.
Yeah.
He pounded the fucking puss as was socially required at the time, but he also liked a good length. What's wrong with that? Come on.
What is wrong with that?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I can't. History drives me insane sometimes, but I do love it.
Yeah.
But I hate historians. I hate these well, no, that's not true. There's some very cool historians out there, but I hate these prudish fucking university professors that have basically never got their dicks wet except to give birth to the one child that their wife took away 3 years ago.
Okay, that's a very specific story now. You clearly have someone in mind.
Professor Stevenson. I will never forgive you for that fucking B, okay? Or not a B, because we don't get graded.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
You don't need to talk about the back of his head like that. That's outrageous. Because he got shot in the head. It's okay. He was used to men firing over the back of him. Oh!
Jesus
anyway,
Christ.
It's what, too soon? Too soon, is it? I've got to let America heal.
Anyway, I don't know how the fuck we got here from disability.
Neither do I, but we've still got we've got 16 seconds of this posh wanker telling why you are not really disabled.
Right, okay, yeah, no, let's go with it. Yeah.
Definition of what I think that means. They will have difficulties with various different things. They will struggle at times. They will struggle with the things that I might have found easy or whatever other people might find easy. They will struggle with different things.
Whoa. Calm it down with the medical terminology. They might struggle with things that I don't struggle with. I wonder why that isn't the exact wording, you fucking bell piece.
Yeah.
Is that disabled? Again,
You
Yes,
are fucking.
actually the definition of disabled, Tom. You fucking moron. I told you there's multiple things that annoy me about this fucking video. He's just an idiot. There's levels of struggling, obviously, but yeah, if somebody finds it significantly more difficult than you to do a thing, that's a disability.
Yeah,
Tom.
because that's an ability that they don't fully possess. They are that ability. Tom.
He's fucking actual moron, dude. And he's like, I understand autism. The people that I've met at work have autism and can work.
Well, exactly.
Therefore...
But it's such the conservative mindset. Like, well, the ones I know are fine. Well, firstly, they probably don't open up to you very much, considering your less than charitable interpretation of their, thing.
Yeah.
So, like, they probably don't show you some of their, more struggling sides, because you might take the piss out of them because you're a posh public school boy wanker. And secondly, even if they were fine, even if the people you know that are a little bit disabled aren't disabled enough in your eyes, that doesn't mean that everybody else is that way.
Like, why do you think, Tom? Why do you think that it's called the autism spectrum? Like, there are people who can navigate the world really well and have autism, and then there are people who are literally non-verbal, cannot talk, have trouble coordinating their limbs to the point that they, eating is an exercise in smashing food into their face, right? Like, there are degrees of autism,
and if they're under the age of 22, they get nothing.
Fuck them.
Because apparently, disabilities don't kick in until your 22nd birthday. Crazy, isn't it?
It's wild. That's wild.
It's just evil, and like, it's so frustrating that, because I mean, I don't want to just pick on like Ukraine or whatever, but like, how could, if we're so fucking poor that we have to eviscerate the living standards of the disabled, how can we give Ukraine £3 billion a year for the next century? Which, by the way, is literally the fucking deal we signed. Mental. Anyway.
Damn, for a century.
For a century, yeah, $3 billion prorated in interest and all. Well, not interest, inflation and all that shit. Yeah, $3 billion for a century.
Are they going to need it for the next century?
I don't know, but it's one of those ones where like they can
pessimistic.
They can definitely that's some government in the future will break that. There's no way it gets to the century mark. Not a chance.
Yeah.
So we got that.
Might as well just say in perpetuity at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Just have it as a rolling deal. Yeah. And then they've got this tunnel, right? Now, it's so annoying to me because I want the government to spend so much more on infrastructure. Because literally we're in a crumbling shithole where nothing works. So it would be really good. So the one plan they've got, though, is to spend $9 billion building another road tunnel under the Thames.
Did you see?
So the southeast is the only place that ever gets any fucking spending. Then,
did you see the proposal from Starmer? He said something along the lines of, "If councils don't repair their potholes, we're going to cut their funding."
Yeah, oh, that's brilliant. That'll definitely get them to spend that extra money on fucking potholes, you dopey cock.
I looked at that and I was just like, I feel like the councils that don't repair potholes are the lowest funded councils, right?
They're not doing it for the fucking lols.
They're prioritizing other shit, like essential fucking services.
Well, people forget that so much of the council budget is taken up by non-discretionary spending. So you have to fund bin collections, you have to fund social services. You can't not do that. So the council have to do that, and then there's like, I don't know, a quarter or whatever is left that they have to spend on everything else. So things like potholes, which are fucking annoying and a bit dangerous, but not so dangerous that they have to be done right now, are obviously going to get kicked to the side. Yeah.
But if you don't do them, we're going to cut your money even more, and then all the potholes will magically be filled.
This is the Tory way. Their only answer is less money for everyone.
About infrastructure.
Less money for everyone. Fuck you. Apart from the billionaires, that's fine. Apparently they're going to cut the fucking the 2% tax that Elon Musk pays. Fucking Jesus Christ, I hate this place so much. Thank you XYZ, or possibly XYZ if you're American and wrong, for giving me money. Much love. How are you? You've become a member. Oh no, so you've been a member for 3 months. Much love. Did you see that Japan dissolved the Moonies. I didn't see that, but I do have a Japanese expert on hand.
They didn't.
Okay, so what is a cat on YouTube talking about then?
What is a cat on YouTube talking about? So the Tokyo ordered the dissolution of the Moonies Unification Church, which is the Moonies are the Unification Church, named after Reverend Sun Myung Moon, who founded them.
After Reverend Unification?
No, not after Reverend Unification. But like the Moonies are the Moonies were founded in South Korea.
Yes.
So essentially what it's done is it's removed tax exemption, which a lot of religious organizations get in Japan, and ordered that it liquidate its assets in Japan, which is an extremely it's a pretty extreme measure, and probably a good thing overall, I think, because fuck the Moonies. But the church isn't like completely disbanding. The problem is that the Moonies are a multinational cult, right? And they were founded in South Korea. So while they're going to have a lot more trouble operating in Japan, they will continue to operate in Japan, and they will continue to operate in strength in Korea, across Asia, and in the United States, where they find a huge amount of support in the current administration.
What a surprise. Yeah, sorry, Jean-Luc Picard, not the Moomins. No, they are a different people.
Yes.
Mainly
Moomins are quite difficult.
Little cartoon pigs or something? I don't know. What are the Moomins? Do we know?
That was a children's TV program. With
Well, I know I'm aware of that.
Okay, fair enough.
But in a very isekai way, I don't know what that means. How do the Moomins procreate? They look like mammals, so I'm guessing fucking.
I think they lay their eggs in unsuspecting human hosts, and then they sort of the children eat their way out through the top of their head.
That's fucking hot.
Yeah.
That's nice. I very much support this. Yeah, I'm a bit doomer today. I don't know if you can tell.
Well, I'm trying to lighten it a little bit whilst also being really fucking annoyed at shit.
But thankfully, we have had a confirmed black cat death case in the UK. So,
sorry, plague?
Yes. Yersinia pestis.
Who the fuck died of the?
No, I don't think they died. It's just been a confirmed
case.
A case.
Yeah. Oh right, okay. Well, they probably just came in from fucking rural.
Because it's actually really easy. It's just a very simple case of antibiotics, isn't it? The problem is with the people in the Middle Ages, they hadn't even invented them. Fucking losers.
Stupid, fucking middle-aged twats.
Exactly. Too busy writing plays, are you, Shakespeare? Get wrecked.
Which is also how I refer to the average Starmarite and the average turf.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And if only they got the plague. Ooh. Anyway. Yeah, we're going to be on with No Justice in a bit.
You're going to talk about the spring statement.
Yeah.
Because they're doing more to fuck over disabled people in the spring statement as well, right? Because they're getting some from the disability component of universal credit.
Yes. They're freezing it until 2030, I think. I saw. 29.30,
which is a cut in real terms.
Well, yeah, exactly, because inflation just means that's how much you're losing from it. Yeah, unbelievable. Just fucking evil shit. And like, Rachel Reeves is so shit. The reason she's doing this is because she was wrong by 15 billion or whatever, and they worked out even when they redid the numbers, she was still wrong by 1.4 billion. So I had to find another 500 million a year over the period, which is why they added this.
The 20 billion black hole.
Unbelievable.
We didn't know about it before, but now it's here, and we have to change all our policies because.
Well, that's the thing. It's not got nothing to do with changing policies.
I want to know what 20 billion pound black hole was found immediately after Starmer was elected leader of the Labour Party.
Yeah, when he changed all of his policies.
Yeah, he changed all his policies then as well, right?
But this is ideological, because this is from more than 11 fucking years ago. Rachel Reeves, when Ed Miliband was leader. Labour will be tougher than the Tories on benefits, promises new welfare chief. Rachel Reeves vows to cut welfare bill and force long-term jobless to take up work offers or lose state support. So this has nothing to do with the 22 billion or any. It's nothing to do with the changing world. You are an ideological Tory.
Get some help.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Fucking
Fuck the Labour,
evil.
right? Honestly.
Yeah.
For real. I miss having a left-wing party in this country. I would really love to be able to choose between something other than the right and the far right.
Well, the Greens are okay, I think.
Well, yeah, I like the Greens in general. They definitely have some issues with transphobia and shit, which it's a constant ongoing fight within the party.
To be fair, is that any different in any other party?
No, I agree. But my point is, like, I'm in not having anybody to vote for, right?
Well, exactly. Yeah, no,
so you saying that only like kind of pushes me more towards but also
towards what? Finish that fucking sentence. Pushes me more towards violent revolution.
I would never suggest anything like that.
No, that would be terrible and bad because it's against the law, and the law is always good because it's written by people who care.
I would not suggest violent revolution because it usually goes horribly wrong and ends up with socialists hanging from lampposts a la Iran, you know. But the totally threw me off what I was about to
transphobia in the Green Party.
Oh yeah, the Green Party. Yeah. So they do have their problems with transphobia and stuff, which is an ongoing fight within the party. Although most of the higher ups are pretty much on board with being pro-trans, so that's good.
I was about to say, like, as much as it is an ongoing thing, like at least their leadership
it
are
seems like
fighting
the pro-trans side is winning.
Yeah. Whereas in the Labour Party, they're just like, no, the turfs ahoy! Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Did you see? Oh fuck! Let me just finish what I was about to say before Green Party before I go off on another tangent. Green Party. I would vote for them. I did vote for them last election. I will probably vote for them next election unless there's significant changes anywhere. And I think it's probably a good thing to vote for them. I just don't think that there's a good chance of them getting enough MPs to really have a huge effect anytime soon. Like getting the Greens into power is a very long-term project, I think.
True, but for me,
and I'm happy to be a part of it. But
it's not even about getting them into power because, like you say, that's so far away that I can't see it in my fucking lifetime, frankly. But that I don't need it to be that at the moment. I just need them to have like some noticeable left wing, like just a left wing pull on Labour, because Labour are going to the right because that's the only threat. There's no left wing threat, so like where do the left go exactly? Whereas if there's a genuine threat of like hoovering up, that's why if you notice, the vehemence with which Labour will attack the SNP is huge. Not because they necessarily disagree with the SNP on a number of things, but because the SNP is the only vaguely left-wing party in the UK that has a chance of taking significant seats off them. And that's only in Scotland, whereas we need the Greens for everywhere else, you know?
And the SNP, I mean, they're definitely losing ground now. Significantly.
Well, they are and they aren't because of the Labour Party's like crashing in the polls, and that's across the country, in Scotland especially. If they held an election today, the SNP would go up to like 40 seats again.
Oh, based.
Yeah,
good for them.
Because I mean, basically, on a constituency-wide basis, you'll get like a small number of Liberal MPs. You get the odd Tory in Scotland, but literally like the odd Tory, and then it's Labour and SNP. And the Labour Party have collapsed because they've done the exact opposite of what they said they were going to do, and the thing that the Labour leader promised they wouldn't do.
They've lost a lot of good people, the SNP, though. I mean, they lost Mary Black.
Well, that's from Westminster.
Nicola Sturgeon is a controversial figure for sure.
But a fine politician, that's got to be said.
But I think she was still, you know, a very moral individual most of the time, except when it came to her husband. Her policies in government were good, is what I'm going to say.
But all I'll say is the vehemence with which the powers that be went after the relatively small corruption that went on there, as opposed to the hundreds of millions of pounds that were just pilfered from the public purse during the PPE stuff. It was just it just shows you, if you've got any kind of semblance of going against the grain, they'll clamp down on you as much as possible. But if you're Michelle Mone, that's fine. Who gives a fuck? Because you've got the acceptable opinions, right?
They lost Blackford as well.
Yeah,
I liked Ian Blackford. He was very strong in Westminster.
And they've lost all of those amazing people to Alba as well.
Oh God.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure there's a million and one things that I could ramble about, but you've got MTG coming on pretty soon. It's been real nice catching up with you. It's been a hot minute, and hope we can do it again soon.
Whenever you fancy, frankly, unless I've got other people on and it's about something that you don't care about or whatever. I'm all about
I mean, if there's a topic I care about, I'll come on and fucking rant and scream and F and blind for half an hour to an hour. I'm pretty good at that.
Please do. Please do. Everyone go and follow Mix Vivian Wolf on all of the fucking platforms now.
Yeah. Oh, and if I can chill slightly.
Go for it.
This isn't really for me, a bit for me, but mostly for my friend Kai. I'm doing a debate with a fucking Christ Nat tonight on my friend Leithwater Kai's channel. There you go. That's the name of the channel. I'm going to tell him to change his fucking branding at some point, because what a name. But
unlike mine, which is very rememberable.
If you're not absolutely sick of Twitch poll and the debate panels and shit like that, I do quite often pop up on Leithwater Kai's channel, where he hosts panels every Wednesday about 1:30 in the morning in the UK. So if you're somebody who suffers with insomnia, or if you're not from the UK, and I'll be debating a Christ Nat on there tonight, probably about 1:30, 2 a.m.
Everyone go and check it out if you're available.
Yeah, if you're available and awake. I understand there's a lot of Brits in here who won't be, but I just thought I'd give him a shout out, because I think Kai deserves more viewers. It's like, it's like old school Twitch poll panel debate stuff that isn't as fucking awful as it finally ended up being,
So it's not as blood sports, though.
Yeah, it can get a little bit blood sporty occasionally, but it's not. We generally have respect for each other most of the time. I will not for this Christ Nat tonight.
Fair enough.
Will be calling him a fucking moron. But yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Kev. Have a good day.
Too. Bye.
Bye. Wait, how the fuck do I leave?
You press the little red.
Yeah. Okay.
phone.
I'm leaving.
Little red phone. There you go. Again, just don't work with women. They're just they're an oars. What can I say? No, everyone go and follow Mix Vivian Wolf, who is based as fuck. We were going to watch PMQs, but it's sort of No Justice should be on within the next quarter of an hour. So what we'll do instead is we'll look at some fucking awesome music. Yeah, we're all technological. Let this say we're on the left, because our tech is fucking shit. Thank you, Seamstress Dragon, for resubscribing. 13 months, much love. And thank you, Man Captain, for gifting us up to Fagoat. Much love to you. Don't forget you can give me money in the usual ways. And thank you, James Holmes, for becoming for being a member on the YouTubes. Much love. Much love to you. Yeah, you can do bits, messages, and subs, and subscriptions, and memberships, and things. You know what I feel like, though? Hang on, I'll if I'm not already following this person, and I wasn't, so there you go. I've now followed this Leithwater Kai. There you go. Fuck you, Kev. My tech is on point. You are silly. Right. What I'm in the mood for is some conspiracy Christian reggae sung by a white man in a black accent that looks like he's cosplaying as a member of Al Qaeda. And I have just such a thing, ready and raring to go.
Vaccines and abortions, microchip come. Gender dysphoria supported by government fund. Carbon reduction, paralleling isolation. Objectively appearing to hate the children. Objectively inducting nanotechnology in arm. Objectively lowering demographic harm. Objectively boasting about their anti-family agenda.
Can white people please... I'm begging you, please stop. Please stop. Let me just stop. And there was also, where's the thing? It's down here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Do you want to see some of the weirdest Elon Musk bootlicking shit you've ever seen in your life?
He gave us cars that drive so fast, made rockets built to blast. Oh, thank you, Elon Musk.
Honestly, I would throw myself off a cliff if I ever produced anything as cringe as that. So just so far, just that alone is enough. I'd literally end it. It gets worse.
He took over Twitter's reign. He saved free speech for all, eliminating woke pain.
Oh, did you remember?
SpaceX flies, Tesla self-drive, Starlink beams with laser dreams.
Laser dreams.
Master plan for our lives. Let's occupy Mars.
She's doing the Virgin dancing. Oh no. You can try and dress it up with a pretty lady. It's the it's the worst dancing ever.
Occupy Mars.
Oh.
And making kids to keep men
Oh,
alive.
that's gross, man.
Neuralink is on the way. Boring tunnels save the day. Oh, thank you, Elon Musk. Fighting fights for freedom's sake. Politics, he's not afraid. He won't just sit and watch. SpaceX flies, Tesla self-drive.
No, it doesn't.
Games with
No, it
laser
doesn't.
dreams. He's got a master plan for our lives.
Oh.
One more kid, one.
Oh, that's really grey. He's got a master plan for our lives. Why is that a good thing? When did they decide that that was good? He's got a master plan for our lives. I don't want him to. I don't want him to have a fucking plan for my... I've got my own shit going on. Fucking hell.
One more kid, one more brand, launching rockets with just one hand.
Hang on a minute. Is that a wanking joke? Hang on, we've got to go back. Is that a wanking joke?
One more kid, one more brand, launching rockets with just one hand. Optimus, Cybercat, to what can't this man do? It's
Stay married. Have anyone love him. Not have a broken dick.
taxes, fraud, some solid memes. Corruption won't stay. And dogs saving USA. So here's to you, our tech tycoon, saving Earth and Mars real soon.
Saving Mars?
Thank you,
How is he saving Mars? He hasn't even fucking got there.
Elon Musk. One more kid, one more brand, launching rockets with just one hand. Optimus, Cybercat 2, what can this man do?
Be a good father.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
Better or worse than Danzy? What do you reckon? Better or worse than Danzy? I'm not sure, in all honesty. It's up there. Like, that's... Like, this was a war crime, what you just heard there. Is this Elon Musk's... Is this her audition to become Elon Musk's next baby mama? Unfortunately, very possible. Horrifically possible. That was amazing, and it's in my meme's fault. Enjoy, I guess. Oh, stupider than Danzy. I'm taking Kev to The Hague. You know what? That's absolutely fair. I can't deny you. Thank you to It's a Morton for gigantifying an emo, and Says Thomas with 100 millibits. Much love to you. Music was a mistake. No, it wasn't the music was a mistake. White people are a mistake. Music is awesome. Have you heard good music? It's incredible. And then you get fucking white nationalist reggae. And you're just like, oh, white people, what are you fucking doing? What are you fucking doing? You fucking bell piece. What else have I got? Hang on a minute. Oh, Adam Kinzinger trolling Elon Musk is quite fun, I suppose. Concerning. Oh, hang on. No. There's an even better one. Where is it? Hang on. No.
The return of the sausages.
I can sing better songs than her.
Well, that's true, MadCat. Just because, I mean, you couldn't possibly sing worse ones, surely. Surely that wouldn't be possible. Much love. So this was Tim Pool having a go at Severance, and Ben Stiller, who's like one of the people who does Severance, did the nerd emoji, and Tim Pool, being the most bitch-made motherfucker who's ever lived, responded with, Tropic Thunder is one of the greatest movies of the films ever made. Thank you, sir. He's not going to fuck you, Tim. Grim. But then the greatest one. Oh my god, this was amazing. Yes, stay in the call. Fuck off. Prick. The best one ever. This, honestly, I think we can just end human civilization at this point, because there will never be a greater own than this. So, Elon Musk, having been a massive pussy and pussied out on fighting Mark Zuckerberg, on going on Jon Stewart's show, right? Then called out Hassan Piker, our own Hassan Piker of the Twitch machines, friend of the show that's never heard of me. The man who did 9/11. Do you remember him? Anyway, he called out Hassan and said, fight me in, I don't fucking know, one of these games. I don't play video games. I'm not fucking garbage. Anyway, I'm playing. Hassan said, yeah, go on then. Yeah. Let's do it. And he backed out again because he's a pussy, right? He says, Hassan is a fraud. Sellout would be more accurate. Objectively, he is promoting a terrible game just for the money. To which Assassin's Creed, the game in question, says, is that what the guy playing your Path of Exile 2 account told you? That's like one of those fucking fatality. That is a fucking moida. Didn't Hassan raid you once, Kib? Did he? I don't remember this. When did that happen? Was it for one of the charity streams? It might have been. I don't know. Friend of the show who might have raided into me but has never heard of me. You know. George Bush. Oh, the guy who did 9/11. He destroyed Grom's too. Have you got a link to that, Viv? I don't mind going over it. Corpo on corpo violence. Well, look, as long as they're taking each other out. This is the look. If corporations want to fuck over other corporations, whatever. For me, it's like with the football hooligans, right? Like, they're not a positive force in the world, but if they meet up away from the ground and kick fuck out of each other, do I really care? If innocent people aren't getting hurt, that people are going to do dumb shit all the fucking time, man. I'm not here to fucking police everyone's fucking Saturday afternoons. You want to go and fucking stamp on each other's fucking heads, go for it. I'd rather them do that violence against each other than take that aggression home with them. Because that's ultimately they're going to get rid of the aggression. I'd rather they do it on other people who are also cunts, rather than, innocent family members or something. Oh shit! I didn't even realise I had him muted. He must have annoyed me at some point. No, hang on. Who's this? Oh, is that Elon Musk? I had Elon Musk muted. Fuck yes. So yeah, Assassin's Creed. Is that what the guy playing your Path of Exile 2 account told you? Grum's just posted a screenshot because he's really good at this. Assassin's Creed Shadow isn't the hit Ubisoft desperately needs, analyst says. Our game is out. Oh, ouchie poos. Ouchie poos. I forgot I even had fucking Elon Musk muted. Yeah, there he is. Let's see what he's fucking tweeting about. It's going to be dumb and racist. Breaking Nazi alert. It's funny because she's just got her hand in the air and she's not actually doing a Nazi salute, whereas Elon Musk did do a Nazi salute. Important. Oh yeah, he's trying to buy the Wisconsin Supreme Court so that he doesn't have to pay any tax ever. America is being strangled with over-regulation. Yeah, of course it is. Grok has replaced Google search for me. Just grok it. Who are these fucking people? I've never for a second heard anyone say that. Just grok it. Why are they... Context. The newest Assassin's Creed game is set in Japan, with one of the player characters being Yusuke, a black guy in service of the daimyo, as most likely a samurai. So it's literally just, black guy, attack. Oh god, these people are scum. Silicon Valley dweebs are a different breed. Yeah. The Tesla owners of Silicon Valley. Just the worst people in the world. Just Grok. Oh, they're trying to make this a thing then. They're trying to make Just Grok it into a thing. It will never be a thing. Grok now available directly on Telegram. Well, so is Nazism. AFD, there you go. AFD, always. Grok has landed on Telegram. No one cares. He's a really boring fuck, man. He's really trying to make Grok into a thing, and it's just not. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, friends. Fuck it, we'll start PMQs and we'll see how far we get.
Question number 1, please, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Today's spring statement will showcase a government going further and faster on the economy. Green-lighting the Lower Thames crossing, investing £2 million for 18,000 affordable homes for working families, 60,000 young people being trained, the next generation of construction workers, and fixing millions of potholes. We're undoing a decade of stagnation, delivering jobs and opportunities for working people and securing Britain's future. Mr. Speaker, tomorrow I'll meet President Macron in Paris.
Am I part of a firm? No, I'm not part of a firm. The Birmingham firm is called the Zulu Army. It's actually one of the more multicultural ones, but still, no. No, I'm not a violent lunatic, thank you very much.
To discuss further our efforts to secure a lasting peace.
I should explain,
in
firm
Ukraine.
is a way that these larpy cunts go around pretending to be like the mafia or something. And what they are is literally just violent. It's football hooligan groups.
And may I welcome the delegation from Bring Back Kids initiative to the gallery, the abduction of Ukrainian children.
That's an interesting. It's an interesting time for them to bring that into the chamber, because the Bring Back Kids initiative, very fine initiative indeed. It's an international body which is trying to track and hopefully retrieve and reunite children who have been stolen by Russia from Ukraine. Right. Interestingly, Elon Musk, a man who cares about the kids so much, has pulled the US funding from that. America isn't a part of that anymore. Who'd have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Friend of Ghislaine Maxwell, Elon Musk, doesn't want the US to fund an organisation trying to find trafficked children. It's almost like his boss was very big friends with Jeffrey Epstein for many, many years or something, and actually is pro the stealing of children. Perhaps.
Is grotesque. And the UK will play our full part to bring them home. It's a stark reminder that any peace settlement must see Russia held accountable for their deplorable actions. Mr. Speaker, this morning I have meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
John Slinger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under this Labour government, NHS waiting lists are down 5 months in a row. And the Hospital of St Cross in my constituency of Rugby is playing its part. But many of my constituents remain concerned about the long waits that they're experiencing that we inherited from the Conservatives.
Sake! You can't drop that one on me. So someone sent me to this. Oh God, the Reform candidate for Gloucester. Rose West was involved in the murder of children. She was a British murderer. That's all I'll say. Like, I don't know, for Americans read, I don't know, fucking Jeffrey Dahmer or some shit, I don't know. I mean, they technically committed slightly different crimes, but not massively so.
Those who have to travel to the General Hospital in Coventry. So will the Prime Minister set out how our plan for change to bring the NHS back into the heart of government will help us...
Well, someone said, you know, Joey Barton, the ex-footballer, violent fucking maniac and sexist, and racist, of course, he got convicted yesterday of brutally assaulting his wife. Got a suspended 12-week sentence as well, so he won't serve any time in prison, obviously. And someone was like, oh, how long until he's a Reform candidate, which is, you know, very possibly true. And, of course, Lawrence Fox was charged with a sex crime for posting the upskirt shot of Narinder Kaur, the British journalist. Hang on, I'll have to... If I just put fox, is it going to be pictures of foxes? Which I wouldn't mind particularly, but... No. Oh, it's Fox. Oh, here we go. No, hang on. No, it isn't. Where is it? I'll have to put Lawrence Fox on. Is he a W Lawrence or a U Lawrence? He's a U Lawrence, obviously. Fucking hell. Anyway, Lawrence Fox, ex-actor, lol, charged with a sex offence. As he was charged with sharing an upskirting picture. Anyway, massive piece of shit. So, fucking Lawrence Fox getting charged, as well as Joey Barton being convicted on the same day. It was like 9/11 for the scummiest bastards who have ever lived. Like, it was a difficult day for them. And yeah, Lawrence Fox has been charged. He faces, if found guilty, up to 2 years in prison. And, regardless if you are convicted of this, regardless of what sentence you then get, you are automatically put onto the sex offenders register. So, you know. Couldn't have happened to a nicer cunt.
To support the front line, deliver better emergency care, closer to the community that our constituents have long called for.
Mr. Speaker, our plan for change already cut NHS waiting list by almost 200,000. That's 5 months in a row during the winter months. The local trust waiting lists in his area are down 93%, and he's doing a great job for his...
Can convicted criminals run for you? Oh, yeah, of course they can, yeah. Well, literally, one of the Reform UK MPs was found guilty of kicking his fucking girlfriend in the head. He served time for that, and is now in Parliament.
Community. We've already delivered 2 million extra appointments that we promised because of the record investment in the budget. The party opposite can't have it both ways. If they welcome NHS investment, they can't criticise raising the money to pay for it.
No, that's not how it works, Prime Minister. That isn't how it works. They can criticise the way in which you go about raising that money. They can. Like, he acts as if the only way you could possibly raise this money is exactly as he is doing. Because he's a robot boy. He doesn't know that other options exist because he hasn't been programmed with that information.
Leader of the opposition, Kemi Beardle.
Who? Who is this person?
Mr. Speaker, in 30 minutes, we will hear the Chancellor's emergency budget. Even the Home Secretary's husband calls it an emergency budget. As she scrambles to fix the mess she made last October. But first, let's turn to another government minister who is making a mess of her brief, the Education Secretary. Why did Labour MPs vote against banning phones in schools last week?
Prime Minister.
Because it's completely unnecessary. I've got teenage children. Almost every school bans phones in school. They do it already. We need to concentrate on what's really important here, which is getting to the content.
Kemi Badenoch is really shit. Sorry, Bad Enoch is really, really shit. Every week she asks something that makes her look like an incompetent prick. Every fucking week. She makes him look good. She makes this incompetent, robot, corrupt piece of shit look like a vaguely competent human being by comparison. She's his ugly wingman. The ugly wingman you bring with you to make you look less ugly, even though you're also ugly.
Children shouldn't be accessing. That's where I would genuinely like to work across the House, because I think there's a huge amount of work to do. But the battle is not with schools that are already banning phones in school. The battle, and this is an important emerging battle, is to work together.
Just Americans. I don't want you to feel bad, because look, if you're American and you're watching me, you probably get the point. But America in general should be forced to watch this discussion. The thing in our schools that's the problem are phones, not AK-47s. I want you to really, look, America, I need to really look at that situation and figure out what the fuck's going on, because look, that seems like a bad juxtaposition, you know. Just saying.
To ensure that we can ensure that the content that children are accessing, wherever they are, is suitable for their age.
Mr. Speaker, we can look at the content, but if the ban is unnecessary, then why is it that they've started a review? Just last week, his education secretary called a ban...
Because... Is she fucking brain dead? Is she actually brain dead? Well, if it's unnecessary to implement this thing because it's already been implemented, why would you bother reviewing the thing that's already been implemented? Like, because it's been implemented, and we want to see, is it still working? Can we do something differently? Honestly, is she actually, like... I don't know, what's the politically correct term for this? I don't know. Is she functioning okay? Like... Is she functioning in a way that would allow her to access PIP, even under the new scheme? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? I don't know. I don't want to be ableist here. Am I attacking someone with difficulties? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, she's like Tim Pool. Oh, okay. Well, we shouldn't have a go then. If she's like Tim Pool, like, you've got to allow him some leeway, haven't you?
And a bit gimmick.
Or do you mean she's like Tim Pool, as in she's being funded by the Russians? Possible. Well, actually, on the point of the corruption, it's endemic in all of the parties, lest we forget. Where's the Kemi Bad? Here we go. Kemi Badnock and her family spent a week as guests to the tune of about £4,700 this holiday was, at the estate of a climate sceptic Tory donor. Neil Record, chair of the Net Zero Watch, hosted the Conservative Party leader and others shortly before her policy U-turn. So she was given a free £4,700 holiday for her and her family, paid for by a net zero climate denier piece of shit, and then a week later she changes her policy to be anti-net zero. How can anyone read into that situation? How can anyone possibly read any level of corruption into that obviously corrupt piece of shit? Like, it's ridiculous. Absolutely fucking... mind-bendingly, obviously corrupt. And that's just the way it's got done. This is serious politics. This is the adults in the room, dear friends. This is the sensibles.
Yet teachers and head teachers say the evidence already shows that schools that ban phones get better results. And he's wrong. Not all schools do this. Only 1 in 10 schools are smartphone free. So will he U-turn on this?
We need to ensure that all schools do this, but the vast majority do. Look, it is really important that we focus on the battle we have to have with mobile phones, which is the content that children are able to access. And we need to ensure that that is controlled wherever they are. So it's a question of having the right battle on the right issue, not wasting time on something where almost all schools are already banning mobile phones.
Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised that the Prime Minister would say this. His own government's evidence says that phones disrupt nearly half...
Hey, hello, Jack Meller, if you're still in the YouTube chat. Hello. I hear you're running for office, friend. We'll have to have you on and grill you. Not literally grill, I mean, like, ask tough questions. And I think, as a British journalist interviewing a Green Party candidate, I think I do have to waggle a beef burger in your face. I think that's like... It's precedent at this point, isn't it? You know?
Of GCSE classes every single day. Discipline is the #1 issue in many schools. Under the Conservatives, schools became twice as likely to be good or outstanding after going through our behaviour programme. So why did the Education Secretary abolish that programme?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, she talks about the record of the last government. Under their watch, a third of children started school without appropriate level development, and that is not being able to use a knife and fork. A quarter left primary school without the...
To be fair, most Tory MPs don't have good skills either. But they're rich enough and posh enough to get away with it, you know? Look at Boris Johnson, he couldn't even use a comb. Which I know, like, hypocrite, but... Yeah.
Required standard of reading, writing and maths, and 1 in 5 was regularly absent. That's why we're pushing up standards, more information from Ofsted, transparency for parents, more interventions where schools need it.
Mr. Speaker, he's not answering the question about discipline in schools because he doesn't care about discipline in schools. Everything he does is ideological, and his decisions are costing schools so much. The national insurance hike means every state school in the country has to pay more for teachers. The Education Secretary promised to compensate schools in full for the jobs tax. Why hasn't it happened?
It wouldn't be an issue if you hadn't privatised all of the schools. Sorry, not technically privatised, but basically privatised all of the schools by making them into academies. If we'd kept them in-house, wouldn't have changed anything. But, you know, c'est la vie.
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it was Labour that introduced academies. We pushed up standards, and this is...
Yeah, the new Labour government were also shit. We're aware of that.
It's not ideological. I'm a parent of 2 teenage children, both of whom go to a state school. So I'm vested in this, and it matters hugely to me. Nothing ideological about it. That is why we're driving up standards, as we always have done.
Mr. Speaker, he didn't answer the question about compensating schools for the jobs tax. That is costing schools a lot of money. The CEO of the United Learning Group says the grant that they gave is 20% short. Some schools will face shortfalls of up to 35%. Can he...
Wow, I thought the private sector were going to sort all of this.
guarantee that no teacher will lose their job as a result of his jobs tax?
Mr. Speaker, if this government at the budget put a record amount into our schools, just as we put a record amount into our NHS and into our public services, we were utterly failed under the last government. But yet again, she wants all the benefits, the NHS, but she can't say how she's going to pay for it. That's what got us into the mess in the first place.
Mr. Speaker, the whole House will have heard that he could not guarantee that teachers' jobs are safe. Not only is he taxing schools, he's also lowering standards. He talks about our record. I'll tell him what our record was. Under the Conservatives, English schools shot up the international league tables, while schools in Labour-run Wales, standards fell. Academy freedoms led to the biggest improvement of...
Well, maybe you could have given the Welsh government more fucking money instead of cutting them all the time. Maybe you could have done the same by scrapping the Barnett formula and actually, you know, investing properly in Scotland as well. Would have been, I think, a useful thing to have done. Call me cray-cray. Yellow?
What's up, Home Slice?
That is a delightful urban way of approaching the situation. I'm very well, thank you. I got through very little of Prime Minister's questions because, I mean, I'm just T-girls everywhere tonight. Mixed Vivian Wolf jumped in and we chatted away for like an hour.
Yeah, good old Viv. Been a while.
Yeah, Viv was awesome. Yeah,
Hope she's doing well.
Yeah, and as a disabled person, she gave me her take on the situation. And I'll be honest with you,
I'm assuming it's very calm, very collected, and and there was no foul language at all.
No, none whatsoever. No, I mean she got a bit angry. But to be fair, our most angry thing was on whether we should expect biological reality to mix into the Mothra universe or not. But
the age-old question.
Well, exactly, yeah. No, we got into the... She was of the opinion that it's basically magic and it doesn't matter. And I was saying, no, we are being told this is a real creature that exists. In order to buy into the narrative of the story, so they have to procreate in some way. How? That was all I was asking. I don't want graphic detail. You know, it could be like asexual reproduction. That's also a thing I will accept. But no one could give me a clear answer. Disgusting. Anyway, before...
But I just want to point out, I just want to say I'm not live on my end, so we can just chat for a bit until... So I go live on the hour, so...
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine.
I just wanted to jump in as soon as I would finish with turn left, because I said I'd be here at 8:30, and it's like 10 to 9
Oh, no,
now,
it's not
so...
a problem. I was watching a bit of PMQs, not a problem. But no, just before we move on with PMQs, chat, just to my peeps. I did pre-watch, obviously, because I'm a sad bastard. And I believe I'm right in saying there wasn't a single question about Gaza. Like, at all. So, in the week where, you know, Israel have been... I mean, I think... Have they got child-seeking missiles? It seems like.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
In that week, not a single question. Wasn't important enough. But there was plenty of like time-wasting shit about... Oh, would you like to answer this question about my constituency that literally no one fucking cares about? You're just saying it so you get in the local newspaper, you fucking time-wasting bum. Fuck off.
Yeah, I think... Because again, the questions are decided by who puts their prayer card down first, right?
Well, isn't there some element of randomness to it, I think? Don't they mix it up?
I think from the submitted questions, right? It's whether you're there on time to have your question asked, and also at the discretion of the speaker, right?
Yeah. Which is why fucking Farage gets called all the bastard time, even though he's one MP and he doesn't even have that many fucking MPs. But you know,
I mean, he spends so little time in Clacton, he just sleeps outside Parliament with his sleeping bag to make sure he gets the first question in.
True. Although, I will give her this one thing, just before we go live on your end, because I don't want to give her any fucking props at all. One thing she did, that Rachel Reeves did get Farage, and I don't know how much of the debate thing you actually watched, but eventually when they got round to Farage asking a question, he was one of the last, she gave some stat about, you know, the number of people who were going to be in work, and she ended it with, and if he ever finds his way to Clacton, he can tell his constituents about that. Which is, okay, fair enough, nice dunk. Like, it wasn't like she had many things to dunk on that day. Like, she had to go for whatever she could. So, fair.
Well, you tell everyone, growth is shit. Poor people are dying. But Nigel Farage can't find Clacton.
Yeah, Nigel Farage is a bellend. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, did you hear about the news about...
It's true, it's so true.
About the Jack Mellor?
I did. I just got bits messages to confirm such.
Was that from It's the Morton?
It was, yes.
Yeah, because they seem very... Like, they gave me a bits message about it earlier, and I was being... MadCat Scotty, oh, God. Oh, that fucking thing. Right, so she's discovered the collaborate button. Have you seen the collaboration thing?
Mm-hmm.
And we got it to work, but she was playing the fucking stream of me talking, so I was hearing myself back 20 seconds later or whatever, and like screaming at her to fucking close the stream down, and then hearing myself scream for her to close the... God almighty, nearly fucking damn near gave me a fucking aneurysm. So stressful was it? But there we go. But yeah.
Well, also the reason, I just want to say, if people are in Kev's chat who are waiting for my stream to start on my end and are wondering why I'm here and not there, I have to upload the bits and pieces that was recorded on my end to StreamYard for Normal Island. So I'm waiting for those to upload before I start my stream fully. Otherwise, it'll just be the camera not being synced, which will be fucking miserable. So.
And also, this is like an exclusive. We've got Navarra's own No Justice MTG to ourselves.
I'm also munching on a massive baguette that I got from the co-op for 26p. So I don't want to do that on camera.
No, that's fair enough. What have you got? Do a mukbang for us then. What have you got?
Literally, it's just a baguette. I'm just eating a baguette.
It's just some bread.
Come on. Have you ever just munched on some bread before?
Not a whole baguette. No, that's mental. You haven't even got any butter or anything.
No.
I mean, your guts must be amazing. That would take me a week to shit out. Just a big lump of bread.
I had a really big lunch, so I didn't really want to have like a substantial meal. I swear I had an amazing lunch. I had a steak and Stilton pie, chips, gravy, and veg at one of the pubs in Bramcote, which is near where I live. And the steak and Stilton pie was fucking incredible.
It does sound good, to be fair, because steak and Stilton separately are very good. So together it does sound rather nice.
It was excellent, but that meant that I have just I'm not having any, like, I've had a massive lunch, so I'm not having a real big dinner, so I'm just snacking on bread.
Just some bread. Fair enough. No, that's fine. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong, Messiah. I'm not anti-baguette. This is not Kev coming out of the water with this like anti-French bread situation. Not at all. I just usually like
Francophobia.
An accompaniment to the bread. Like it would be just as weird if she was saying, "Oh, I'm just eating a loaf of bread." just eating a dozen slices of bread.
I don't know. For some reason, it seems less weird that it's a baguette.
Is it? I don't. Wow, mate.
I wouldn't. Because I wouldn't eat like a big lump. I wouldn't eat a fucking like sliced loaf of bread. But I would eat a baguette.
It's just because it seems fancier. I think. Like if you just eat a slice of bread, you look mental. Whereas just eating a baguette, you're just eating a baguette. It's fine.
I think that's right. That's right. Why is fucking uploading? Come on, StreamYard. Stop being shit.
Bread is a good dessert. What the fuck are you talking? Dingus, where the fuck do you live that bread is a dessert? Now, you can do bread
pudding.
You can do bread pudding, but that means that you're adding other things to it. Bread on its own is not a dessert. That's just fucking weird. You sound Dutch, so it makes sense, but I don't know if you are.
Yeah.
I used to eat bread mostly because I'd go to the factory and steal it. What the fuck are you... Mr. Peter Wood, you are strange.
The bread thief?
Yeah, you used to go to the factory and steal bread. I'm sorry, did you live in a Warburton's advert? What place is this that you was a fucking bread factory? But also, bread factory, do you mean bakery? Or was there an actual factory?
True.
It was a big fuck off production. Actually, maybe they do. Maybe that's me now living in a fucking Warburton's world. Maybe they do have big fuck off factories. Probably do, right? I don't know. I used to work.
I mean, yeah, probably.
I used to work in
the ship.
Back when it existed as a thing. I used to work at the HP factory in Brom, on the fucking production lines, and I had honestly the worst job it's possible to have, because it's so boring that it becomes impossible, right? So for about a week, 12-hour shifts, 4 days a week, I had to stand on the production line for the Worcestershire sauce. And because the machine was like old, and you'd see, I mean, literally thousands of these bottles every hour, right? Because it was old and shit, occasionally, and I mean literally in a 12-hour shift, you'd get 3 bottles over the course of it that would fall over. Right, and you can't go in sideways because it's when they're about to have the sticker label put onto them in the machine, so they have to be stood up to go through the machine. And if they're on their side, it breaks and they have to shut the whole thing down and clean the machine out and all of that. And so you literally have to stand there for 12 hours watching all of these bottles go by, waiting for one to fall to pick it up. And it becomes so mind-numbing that you miss it. Because you're not even watching anymore. Your brain just switches off and you become like a zombie. It sounds like such a simple job, and yet it's actually impossible. Because
that does sound very mind-numbing.
You can't focus on nothing for 12 hours. It isn't possible. You need to actually have a task to do. It's
100%, absolutely.
Fucking.
Although you know, for a very long time, I never knew that HP stood for Houses of Parliament, despite the fact the fucking Houses of Parliament on the bloody bottle.
Yeah. But what I don't know is, why did it have the Houses of Parliament? Like, that's okay. I understand, you know, that's the connection there. But like, why did they put the Houses of Parliament on it?
Because it's full of brown shit. I like HP sauce. That's not a dig.
I don't like HP sauce. I didn't like it before I went into the factory, and I certainly didn't like it hungover going past the massive vats of it. Oh, Jesus. The closest I've ever come to literally vomiting at work.
Good evening, chatters. Welcome. We're being joined by Kevin Logan at KF Logan. KF Logan 1875. Go and follow and subscribe to Kevin on all of the platforms. Say hello, Kevin.
Hello, Kevin. Yes. Yeah, just to clarify, we were having a
There you
conversation
go. You
before.
got it right. There we go.
Yeah, just to Wayward, who's American, HP is a source. Yeah. When we say House of Parliament, the label has the House of Parliament on it. So, like, it doesn't... Yeah, it's weird. You don't have to upload this bit to YouTube.
It is. Again... I mean, it'll be on the live VOD for people to listen to you talking about HP Source. We were discussing HP Source before you came in, chat.
And specifically that I used to work at the HP Source factory in Aston, of all places, in northern Birmingham. And actually, bizarrely...
the traitor area.
Well, yeah, literally not that far, like about 2 miles from the ground or whatever. Yeah, the last time... I think the only time I've ever eaten dry bread... I was I think I just started working there. I was 16 or something, and this was even before I went to college or anything. And I forced a slice of dry bread down as my dad drove me to work. It was like the second job I ever had. Yeah, just so I had something in my stomach. I learned to regret that. It wasn't a baguette either. It was literally a slice of bread. I felt like a Victorian urchin. It was ridiculous.
Well, at least I feel like a French urchin. I was also eating a baguette before you came on the chat, just for reference.
Yeah, it's true. And if you want us to be able to afford other things, you can give us money in the form of bits.
You can
and
subscribe.
Yeah.
It's true.
I had noises happening.
Clearly, I need to find an infected spinal column to put into my baguette.
Yes, indeed. Oh, why am I so tall? Ah. Thank you, Zakap, for what must be the indecipherable nonsense we've been talking. Thank you for raiding. Your 33 Australians will have understood none of the things we've said, and that makes me horny. Actually, bizarrely, I was watching the highlights of the 1981 Headingley test today.
Really?
Yeah, the Bob Willis, Ian Botham test. It came up. I don't know why, because I don't watch cricket content really on YouTube, because like who gives a fuck? But it popped into my subscription feed, and I was like, yeah, go on then. Not subscription, in my like suggestions thing on the front page. I was like, yeah, go on, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah.
Bob Willis was a good bowler. In the right conditions. Let's be honest, his averages were not great, but yeah.
Kevin Morton in chat. Kevin Morton in chat says that Daddy's brown sauce is superior. I have no comment.
They're both degenerate, and you're going to hell for either. Is my answer, in all honesty.
Fair enough.
Yeah, everyone gonna follow Zakat.
Are you also a Marmite disliker as well?
That's Vegemite for the Zakat people. Yes, I am. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, so that's the point I was gonna make. I was gonna make you piss off the Australians by insulting Vegemite.
Yeah, your Vegemite, and frankly, your capitulation on that final day, embarrassing. That is a multi-generational Australia.
It's true.
Daddy's is Irish, is it? Well,
absolutely. Just don't forget any of the test series between 1990 and 2005.
That is true. I genuinely, because the last time we'd won was 87, the year I was born, right? So I was born like in the middle of that test series. And I never thought I'd ever live to see us win it, ever. And then we won in 2005. I was like, that isn't supposed to happen. What? Because we'd win like one
against
test
like the best
series.
team that they'd fielded, right?
For quite a while. Yeah, they were
I think
good.
that was the best, yeah, like when your worst player is Damian Martin, that's quite a feat.
It is, but it also helps if you've got the world-class spin bowler who's going through a divorce and is a pisshead, and also if your premium fast bowler also stands on a ball and nearly breaks his fucking ankle. These things help.
That's basically it, right? Yeah. It's an incredible victory for England, specifically because of Graham McGrath treading on a cricket ball playing rugby in one morning at Edgbaston,
I'm glad it happened, but the wrong decision was made. Michael Kraspovich's glove was off that bat. It was not out. It was before DRS.
It's not out of the gloves off bat.
But But I'm glad the decision got made, because what a fucking end to a test match. But yeah. Anyway.
It was, yeah, But also remember we got them 9 wickets down at Old Trafford, right?
Yeah, no, they were lucky in that one, yeah. But there you go. Also, talking
Exactly.
of
So
Shane,
even
it helps if he gets.
we still got close.
If you've got a tail ender who gets into his 90s and then kicks his own fucking stumps for no reason, also helps. Anyway,
True. That also helps.
Let's not. What was I going to say? I did have a point. Someone said something, and I've totally lost where I was going to go with that. Kev, please guide me to the best test match. Whatever. Yeah, probably that 81 test.
Match 2005.
That was pretty good too. Yeah. The draw, the tide test. Interestingly, with the tide test, the West Indies.
Headingley 2019 is probably easier for you to get access to.
Well, probably. But in the tide test, the West Indies got to the tide score with 2 wickets remaining, and both of them were tail enders, so they just hit it and ran out both times. Mental. What are the odds?
Excellent work.
Yeah. Is this cricket?
I'm trying to think of other test matches that don't have England involved that I thought were incredible. Oh,
well,
there's one. I think one of my
the
favourite
follow on in, was it Mumbai or Delhi, where India will ask to follow on.
It was
it Calcutta? There you go. Yeah. They've asked to follow on, the first ever follow on victory ever.
Was it 287 for VVS? Was it
something absurd like that? Yes. Yeah.
I mean, actually, my favourite test match outside that's not an England playing it's an Australia-South Africa test. I think it was at Durban. Might have been in Newlands. Anyway, like Australia make I think 170 or 180 odd on the first day, with Michael Clark making 100 in very tricky conditions. South Africa get blown away for 90 on day 2. Still on day 2, Australia get blown away for 47. And then South Africa chased down the score with like 8 wickets left to spare. I think in one day, 25 wickets fall or something crazy like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a really, really good one.
Indeed. Oh God! Talking of England fast bowlers, did you see Jofra Archer the other day?
He hit the highest score in IPL history off his bowling.
Against his bowling. Yeah. Was it 70 something? 0 for 76. Yeah. No, look, if it's 1 for 76, you can at least say, well, I got 1. Like, but it's 0 for 76. That's 19 and over.
It's a real Mick Lewis effort from Jofra Archer there. Anyway, let's stop talking about cricket.
But I prefer talking about cricket than talking about the evisceration of the poorest in my society.
That's true. That's true. I'm sure everybody in chat who is frustrated us talking about a thing that basically no one is interested in. Every minute we spend talking about cricket that you hate is a minute that we we stop talking, or that we're not talking about the fact that tens of thousands of people are going to be in poverty. Sorry, hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of children.
Tens of thousands of children. Yes. Yeah, like Test cricket is only a sort of a redolent thing to do with the class divide in the country, whereas this is literally just the class divide naked in tooth and claw. Yeah, not great. Okay, so I mean, what are the headlines? What are the headlines of the thing? They're gonna fuck the poorest, basically. They're freezing both universal credit and the PIP till 2030.
So it's not universal credit itself; it is the health elements.
The health component of universal credit. Apologies, yes, until 2030.
Because the regular rate is rising by £2, right?
Yes. Although, what was it they said? I mean, it's just the pettiness of it. The overall rate was going to end up in 2030 as £106 instead of £107. So they took £1. Really? All of this so you can take £1 off people. What's this going to achieve? It's so annoying. It's so frustrating. And of course, it's not even going to save anywhere near the amount they said. Because not only did she fuck up her numbers once by going to get 13 billion out, she fucked up that fuck up by also being 1.4 billion out. I'm sorry, someone who can't do mathematics repeatedly probably shouldn't be Chancellor.
It's incredible. Because one of the things she kept putting in the papers in the run-up to the election It was this idea of, well, Mummy taught me at the kitchen table that you had to make every penny count, and you had to ensure that that the sums added up, and that's why I'll be a good chancellor. And then she gets into government, and the second statement she does on the economy, and she gets the numbers wrong twice.
Yeah. And also, she's not doing this for any other reason than ideology. We already know this. We've got the fucking back when she was pensions spokesperson under Ed Miliband. So we're looking like over a decade ago now. Where is it? Let's scroll. Here we go. Labour will be tougher than the Tories on benefits, promises new welfare chief. Rachel Reeves vows to cut welfare bill and force long-term jobless to take up work offers or lose state support.
Well, I don't even think it's necessarily ideological. I just think that she thinks it's what she thinks people want to hear. I think these people believe in nothing. I think these people believe in literally nothing. They just want to be politicians. She wanted to be the first female chancellor and get the medal for getting the woke
girl
points.
Boss.
And then literally she wanted to be the girl boss austerity. And like that's all she wanted. And
more female camp guards.
Literally. And some strategist told her, oh, well, people will think you're sensible if you kill the poor. And she's like, well, sensible it is. Sensible is as sensible does.
Oh my God, it's the greatest. It's the very tip of the iceberg of the sensibles. Did you watch PMQs by any chance?
I've not, no.
No. The end of Ed Davies' questions, so his final question is like, oh, why can't we just tax like rich people and that to pay for this instead? And he literally stands up and is like grossly offended that the one opinion has been gone against, and says to him, I have a lot of respect for the right honourable gentleman, but you're not being very sensible right now. Is literally what he says to the leader of the Liberal Democrat Party in Parliament.
Literally, like it's so funny how we've memed the sensibles into existence.
Yeah,
they kept talking about
literally
the sensible sector.
Yeah, the adults in the room.
And James O'Brien calls himself the sensibles, and then Keir Starmer just says it at fucking question time.
Mad, absolutely fucking mad shit. Unbelievable.
Ben in chat says, having met Rachel Reeves, I think she genuinely thinks this is something she needs to do to prove she is serious in the eyes of the market. I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. Probably.
Anyway, so there's all of that shit, evil. And the worst thing is, and I mentioned this with Viv earlier, they make me angry that there's one bit of infrastructure spending in all of this. I don't know if you saw the Lower Thames tunnel that they're planning.
Yeah.
So 9 billion. I mean, firstly, why does it cost that amount of money to dig a fucking tunnel? I'm not entirely sure, but okay. They're building a new road tunnel in East London or whatever to go across the Thames, which in general, without any context, I'm absolutely all in favour of. We need a lot more infrastructure spending. It's just the only place that ever gets any infrastructure spending is the only place that's getting any infrastructure spending now. Literally, the South East gets everything and no one else gets anything. He's literally worse than Boris Johnson. At least with Boris Johnson, you could apply to have a fucking a paperclip under the fucking levelling up scheme or whatever. Like, you could do something. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, sorry, Essex to Kent. Apologies. Like, I give a fuck about any of these places.
Apparently that's going to be privately financed. Incredible.
Yeah, we'll see about that. So what, is it going to be a fucking toll road then? How's that better?
I have no idea. PFI shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And that's the thing. I mean, and what's funny is that they've quadrupled the funding for council house building in the string statement from the budget, from 500 million to 4 billion. With no 500 billion to 2 billion, so it's a quadrupling. So that means we get 18,000 council houses, which is nothing.
It's literally nothing. Yeah. And the courts have given permission for a £3 billion loan to Thames Water.
At a sky-high interest rate that bill payers are going to pay.
Yep.
Just fucking nationalise it.
Yeah.
Like, bills are already gone up. People are still paying for all of the shit that Thames Water did already, and now they're going to pay an even higher interest rate on the emergency loan as an extra hike in bills. It's insane that this dynamic is continuing.
True. Shall we take a look at the statement itself?
Yeah, go on then.
The Spring Statement, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves.
Mr. Speaker, this Labour government was elected to bring change to our country, to provide security for working people.
Yeah, but change for the better. You were supposed to change things in a positive way, not like in a bad way. I don't think that's what Baldrick was trying to tell us.
And to deliver a decade of national renewal. That work began in July, and I am proud of what we have delivered in just 9 months. Restoring stability to our public finances, giving the Bank of England the foundation to cut interest rates 3 times since the general election. Rebuilding our...
And I will say the Tories' weakest attack line was, well, it should have been cut more than 3 times. Like, come on.
It's funny, isn't it?
That's weak sauce.
And again, it's just the same as when they were trying to take credit for the drop in inflation when they were in government. I'm like, you did fuck all to stop inflation.
Yeah.
It came down naturally, like it went up naturally. You can't take credit for it going down whilst also not bear responsibility for it going up, you know?
Yeah. It's the same with the markets. Like, well, when the markets are up, see, we're winning. If the markets go down, well, they're independent of government. That's, you know, it's the Trumpian thing all over again.
Public services, with record investment in our NHS, bringing waiting lists down for 5 months in a row. And increasing the national living wage to give 3 million people a pay rise from next week. Now our task is to secure Britain's future in a world that is changing before our eyes. The threat facing our continent was transformed when Putin invaded Ukraine.
You see, we're going to take the money from the disabled and give it to the shareholders of Raytheon and Boeing. Yay!
Yay! No, didn't you hear? They're going to inject money into defence manufacturing in forgotten northern towns. Don't you think you'll be much happier if you're employed on the production line for F-35s?
No. No, I would not. Can't I just piss in a bottle for Raytheon? Is that not an option? Can we mix it up a bit? Like, I'll piss... Oh, God. I don't want to fight for Israel, but can I get away with pissing in a bottle for Israel and then throwing the piss at Benjamin Netanyahu?
It has since escalated further and will continue to evolve rapidly.
And the thing they're not saying is, the reason we need to spend is because Trump is fucking everybody. That's the bit they won't say. Why is it escalated? What's the escalation here? What changed? Oh, because Trump's fucking everybody.
And everyone knows it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone fucking knows that it's Trump. We all know full well that it's Donald bloody Trump. And they won't say it because they don't want to make the orange man mad. We want a trade deal. Please be nice to our billionaires. And get rid of the fucking digital services tax.
Yeah, they're literally going to get rid of the 2%. And you know they're going to, because when asked, she didn't answer. If they were definitely not going to get rid of it, she'd say, no, I'm not getting rid of that. So she's going to absolutely get rid of it. And we're still not going to get a trade deal. Yep. These people are fucking sicking me.
At the same time, the global economy has become more uncertain, bringing insecurity at home as trading patterns become more unstable and borrowing costs rise for many major economies.
I love our very sensible and modern parliament where people have to sit on the fucking floor. Like, really?
Mother of all parliaments, chat.
The 21st century and we can't even build chairs. We can't build chairs for the MPs.
They can't ask questions remotely. It was only a special thing for the pandemic. They can't vote electronically. They have to go through the fucking, like, the division. But it's so stupid.
They don't get their own office.
I hate the fucking...
They have to share their office. What the fuck?
Look, to be fair, at least that means that Tony Blair can share an office with Dave Nellist.
Which was very, very funny. And, yeah. It's a shame it wasn't recorded.
Mr. Speaker, the job of a responsible government is not simply to watch this change. This moment demands an active government, A government...
We'll fuck the poor so we can give money to arms companies for Ukraine. Woo! Like, they're making people who support Ukraine turn against Ukraine at this point. They really are. Like, I feel chagrined.
They are.
Like, I know, I don't want, by the way, I don't want us to cut fucking funding to Ukraine. But I'm saying, look, I chagrin to me that they would continue, they would sign a deal for 100 fucking years at $3 billion a year, and yet say, turn around to the disabled and go, you're 21, you can just starve to death. That's not acceptable.
Literally, I mean, people, because they've got this fucking zero-sum approach to how they dictate and how they rhetorize government finances to the public. Everyone thinks that taking a penny from one account is being put into another account, right?
Yeah.
So you'll literally hear people going, you're taking your money from grannies to give to Ukraine. You're taking money from the disabled to give to migrants, right? And this is entirely the fault of the way the government has rhetoricized how they do their spending.
Yeah. Because they're Tories who are playing the Tory game. So even when they're occasionally right, that you can attack them on the grounds that they're not doing Toryism in the same way that they ought to or something.
Yeah.
You bought into you're just the Tory party at this point, lads. So when you do any public spending, you're going to get criticised for it because you've accepted that formula.
Not stepping back, but stepping up. A government on the side of working people, helping Britain to reach its potential. And Mr. Speaker, we have the strength to do just that. As one of the world's largest economies, an ally to trading partners across the globe, and a hub for global innovation. These strengths...
Oh yeah, did you see? They've ring-fenced, is it 20% of the increase to go on... I forget the exact phrase they used, but it was something like on creative engineering and on AI. So even with the extra increase in military budgets, it's just going to be AI. It's just Tony Blair's wankfest again.
The irony, of course, is that ring-fencing money for creative like research and development would be a really good thing. We don't have an innovative economy. And yet, what our innovation is going to be, it's going to be fucking on like AI boondoggles. It's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
And the progress that we have made so far mean that we can act quickly and decisively in a more uncertain world to secure Britain's future and to deliver prosperity for working people. Mr. Speaker, as I set out at the budget last year, I am today returning to the House to provide an update on our public finances, supported by a new forecast from the Independent Office for Budget Responsibility, ahead of a full spending...
But independent doesn't mean unbiased, can I just point out. These are other fucking Westminster wanker economic orthodoxy people.
And again, they are the ones who tried to put legislation in place to force extra scrutiny of budgets by the OBR, right? They literally wrote it into law that they have less freedom to do what they want with the budget. It's so dumb. It's so stupid.
Review in June. I will then return to the House in the autumn to deliver a budget in line with our commitment to deliver just one major fiscal event a year. So let me now turn to the OBR's forecasts. And I want to thank Richard Hughes and his team for their dedicated work. The increased global uncertainty has had two consequences. First, on our public finances, and second, on our economy. I will take each in turn. In the autumn, I set out our new fiscal rules that would guide this government. These fiscal rules are non-negotiable. They are the embodiment of this government's unwavering commitment to bring stability...
Right, but when you say they're non-negotiable, that means you've taken the political decision to directly fuck the disabled to patch up your shit mathematics. That's
and again,
like,
even within the fiscal rules, they could change how they let's have a tiered system of paying interest on reserves held by the Bank of England, right? That would save more money than they're currently spending on taking away from the disabled, you know? They could also do a wealth tax.
Yep.
They could also change the rate of capital gains tax. They could do land value. They could change council tax, you know, so that local authorities had more money. There are loads of fucking things that they could do, and all they're doing is taking money away from the disabled, even within those own fiscal rules.
Good night, Phantom. Thanks for stopping by. And, breaking news. Trump just added a 25% tariff on all cars made outside of the US. Which I suppose means it's lucky that we don't have a car industry anymore. Otherwise, that would be bad news for us. But we don't make cars, so...
Luckily, China have a car industry, and we're basically the only Western country that doesn't have tariffs on them.
Yep.
So if you want cheap electric vehicles, Xiaomi are very affordable. Now with 10% more slave labor.
Yeah.
To our economy and to ensure security for working people. Because the British people have seen what happens when a government borrows beyond their means. The mini budget delivered by the party opposite resulted in higher bills, in higher rents and higher mortgages. And Mr. Speaker,
I wonder how long.
It was not the...
I wonder how long they're going to fucking ring the Liz Truss bell for. I wonder how long they can get away with it, like David Cameron and Greg Cans did with the note in 2010.
Exactly, I was about to say, it's literally, that's their note. It's their Liam Byrne left a letter shit. That and 22 billion. 22 billion? 22 billion? Liz Truss, mini budget. 22 billion?
And I made the point earlier, right? Is if you're looking at a problem that has caused people to be out of work, right? It's the fucked healthcare sector. It's the fact the 40% of people who are in claiming capacity benefit are on an NHS waiting list. Maybe if the actual inheritance that's fucked this government is the screwing up of the NHS by the Conservatives, and yet they won't blame George Osborne. They'll blame Liz Truss because they can't blame George Osborne because they're doing George Osborne.
I would say, they're the heirs of Osborne. Yeah, of course they can't. That would be like criticising themselves.
George Osborne, for his fucking podcast, put out a bloody press release saying how happy he was with Liz Kendall taking tough decisions on welfare.
Oh, Democide podcast.
Oh, friend.
The wealthy who suffered most when they crushed the economy, it was ordinary working people. And they continue to feel the effects 2.5 years later of the damage that the party opposite did. Now let me be clear. There is nothing progressive, there is nothing Labour about working people paying the price for economic irresponsibility.
That's the new tried and tested beep boop robot catchphrase. There's nothing progressive and there's nothing Labour, and then insert Tory shit after that is the new thing, because you did this about fucking 5 or 6 times. That's you can tell when the Politburo have come up with a new fucking ignorance is bliss, fucking not ignorance is bliss, ignorance is strength bullshit catchphrase, because they just repeat it over and over because they're just robots.
At least it's good fodder for Swede Mason to do a mashup remix of it, where it goes, there is nothing progressive, there is nothing Labour about this Labour government.
Yes. Oh yeah,
That's
very much so. Yeah.
Very memeable.
Yeah, Cassette Boy will have their fun, I'm sure.
The British people put their trust in this Labour government because they knew that I would never take risks with the public finances. That we would never do anything to put household finances in danger. And we must earn that trust every single day. The 2 rules that I set out at the budget were, first, our stability rule, which ensures that public spending is under control, balancing the current budget by 2029-30, so that day-to-day spending is met by tax receipts. Second, our investment rule, to drive growth in the economy, ensuring that net financial debt falls by the end of the forecast period, while enabling us to invest alongside business.
It's so annoying. All of this serious politics, adults in the room, you're just ensuring fascism wins. You fucking irresponsible pricks. Oh, God, it's infuriating.
What's sad, of course, is that they would have loads more. They would have loads more fiscal headroom if they just changed the rules. It wasn't like net financial debts. If they did like net debt minus assets, So if you spent money on, I don't know, the state building council houses or a new infrastructure project, that asset would therefore be taken off the debt you're spending because it would be generate revenue at a higher rate that you'd be paying interest on the gilt you'd issued, which makes perfect sense, but they won't do that because that seemed too radical.
To the stability rule. The OBR's forecast shows that before the steps that I will take in this statement, the current budget would have been in deficit by £4.1 billion in 2029-30, having been in surplus by £9.9 billion in the autumn, as the UK, alongside our international peers like France and Germany, has seen the cost of borrowing rise during this period of heightened uncertainty in global markets. As a result of the steps that I am taking today, I can confirm that I have restored in full our headroom against the stability rule, moving from a deficit of £36.1 billion in 2025-26 and £13.4 billion in 2026-27 to a surplus of £6.0 billion in 27-28, £7.1 billion in 2028-29, and a surplus of £9.9 billion in 2029-30. That compares to the headroom left by the previous...
But this is totally not a budget, because she doesn't even have the red box, so shut up.
I mean, we've not really done any big kind of fiscal changes, so I can understand it being a spending review, but like, just throwing out a bunch of these figures, I'm like, why run a surplus? What's good about running a surplus? We have a rentier economy where demand is really weak at the moment. You want to drive growth through full employment policy, which means running bigger deficits.
Previous government of just £6.5 billion. That means we are continuing to meet the stability rule 2 years early, building resilience to shocks in this, a more uncertain world. The OBR forecast that the investment rule is also met 2 years early, with net financial debt of 82.9% of GDP in 25-26 and 83.5% in 26-27, before falling to 83.4% in 27-28, in 83.2% in 2028-29, and then to 82.7% in 2029-30. Providing headroom of £15.1 billion in the final year of the forecast, broadly unchanged from the autumn. After the last government doubled the national debt, after they doubled the national debt interest payments now stand at £105.2 billion this year. Mr. Speaker, that is more than we allocate to defence, the Home Office and the Ministry of Justice combined. That is the legacy of the party opposite. So the responsible choice is to reduce our levels of debt and borrowing in the years ahead so that we can spend more on the priorities of working people, and that is exactly what this government will do. Mr. Speaker, I said that our fiscal rules were non-negotiable, and I meant it. I will always deliver economic stability, and I will always put working people first. I said it at the election, I said it at the budget, and I say it again today. Let me now set out the steps that the government has taken. At the budget, we protected working people by keeping our promise not to raise their rates of national insurance, income tax or VAT. At the same time, we began to rebuild our public services after the party opposite left a £22 billion black hole in our public.
Bingo! Take a drink,
Bingo!
Everyone. Love it.
Bingo!
Ours were the right choices for stability and the right choices for renewal, funded by the decisions that we took on tax. As I promised in the autumn, this statement does not contain any further tax increases. But when working people are paying their taxes while still struggling with the cost of living, it cannot be right that others are still evading what they rightly owe in tax. In the budget, I delivered the most ambitious package of measures that we have ever seen to cut down on tax evasion. raising £6.5 billion per year by the end of the forecast. Today, I go for...
Out of the how many tens of millions or billions that get stolen every year? It's not that impressive, actually. It's better than nothing.
I don't have any. I don't have the stats to hand on what tax avoidance looks like. Well, it's your tax evasion, so people who should be paying taxes who aren't, right?
Yeah.
But they also need to close loopholes on tax avoidance, make sure people who could theoretically pay tax, make them
actually do it.
Eligible to pay that tax rather than letting them get away with not paying it.
Yeah, stop the Jimmy Carring.
Further, continuing our investment in cutting-edge technology, investing in the HMRC's capacity to crack down on tax avoidance, and setting out plans to increase the number of tax fraudsters charged every year by 20%.
Notice her use of used technology. So more AI shit. They're going to use more AI. I'll guarantee it.
Almost certainly what that means, yes.
These changes raise a further £1 billion, taking the total revenue raised from reducing tax evasion under this Labour government to £7.5 billion. These figures are verified by the Office for Budget Responsibility, and I want to thank my honourable friend, the Exchequer Secretary, for his continued work in this area. Mr. Speaker, last week, my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, set out this government's plans to reform the welfare system. The Labour Party is the party of work.
Here we go.
We believe that if you can work, you should work.
You just saw a shot there of the Angel of Death, as I'm going to call her, because that's literally what she is.
Killer
but
Kendall.
If you can't work,
yeah, Killer Kendall, yeah.
You should be properly supported. This government inherited a broken system. More than 1,000 people every day are qualifying for personal independence payments. 1 in 8 young people are not in employment, education, or training.
Pause 1 sec.
If we do nothing...
I fucking hate the line they're trotting out. Oh, there are 1,000 new applications for PIP every single day. And I'm like, yes, because there are a bunch of people who become of age every day who need to claim PIP. There's also people who claim PIP currently who will die every day. You know?
Yeah.
Like, this is a nonsense metric because you're not doing it per capita. You're not giving it relative to the broader disabled population, the broader other population. You're trying to say that there's somehow this massive fucking influx of people pretending to be disabled. That's what it is. That's the rhetoric.
Yeah.
Let's try and pretend that 1,000 people applying for PIP is somehow a sign of a broken system, rather than just A, the state of people with disability, and B, the passage of time, the aging process.
Nothing, we are writing off an entire generation. That cannot be right, and we will not stand for it. It is a waste of their potential, and it is a waste of their futures, and we will change it.
The one solace I take from this, and it's something of a hollow Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhic in the literal sense of we're going to get destroyed in order to accept the victory. But the people going here on the back benches there, they're all going to lose their fucking jobs. They deserve to get voted out, and in the next election they will, because this is going to make them even more despised. They're fucking ghouls.
Yep, even Nigel Farage was around in Runcorn being interviewed by Politics Joe about the plans by the Labour government, and he explicitly criticised the idea of means testing, like free school meals for kids. And I'm just like, well, how is Nigel Farage being more progressive? What the fuck is going on?
Well, presumably because he'll just get rid of all free school meals. Presumably is his actual opposition to it. But yeah, it's ridiculous. They're going to bring in for the 60p fucking breakfast clubs and then remove the actual main meal of the day from most kids. Brilliant. You are fucking pathetic, evil bastards. I actually fucking hate you.
Also, someone asks in chat, is that Constantine kissing above Yvette Cooper? Unfortunately, it's not. The MP above Yvette Cooper is the previous head of Labour Together, who got shooed in. Joshua Simons, I think his name is, who got parachuted into a seat in Wigan when he's from London, and he was the one who on LBC before the election started chatting shit about sending asylum seekers up to Scotland.
Yeah. And just,
dumping them in Scotland.
Just for reference, the guy sat 2 from the left from Wes Streeting there is not in fact Heinrich Himmler, although he does look a lot like him. That is Pat McFadden, who is arguably more right wing.
I'm sorry, I thought it was Nosferatu the vampire.
No, okay, well no, it's Pat McFadden, who again is probably more alive than Nosferatu. Probably.
As my right honourable friend said in her statement last week, the final costings would be subject to the OBR's assessment. Today, the OBR have said that they estimate that the package will save £4.8 billion in the welfare budget, reflecting their judgments on behavioural effects and wider factors. This also reflects final adjustments to the overall package, consistent with the Secretary of State's statement last week and the government's Pathways to Work Green Paper. The Universal Credit Standard Allowance will increase from £92 per week in 25-26 to £106 a week by 29-30.
And again, it was going to be 107. So they literally did all of this. It's just cruelty for the sake of it, really. At this point, there's no fucking political efficacious reason to do this.
It's just funny to me that the justification they're giving for the disability cuts is getting people into work, and yet the unemployment welfare payment, which is a universal credit, is the one that they're not taking the money from, you know?
Yeah.
So this rhetoric, they can't even get the cut the welfare to push people into work rhetoric correctly, because the out of work benefit is the one they're raising, and it's the in work benefit that they're cutting that's going to make people less likely to be able to work.
Yep.
The universal credit health element will be cut for new claimants by around 50% and then frozen.
Cut by 50% and then frozen. So extra cuts. So more than 50%.
Again,
less than half.
This is for the most vulnerable. This is for the most vulnerable people as well, right? People with limited capability for work-related activity, you know? Yep. These are the ones who are finding it even more difficult to get into work. They're literally punishing the people who are the least capable. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're worse in many respects than George Osborne. They really are. Like, other than I don't know, other than fucking what was his name? Liz Truss's partner.
Kwasi Kwarteng.
Kwasi Kwarteng. Other than Kwasi Kwarteng, I think she might be the worst Chancellor of my lifetime. And I mean that sincerely. I mean worse than fucking Rishi Sunak. Worse than Norman Lamont.
I mean, George Osborne is basically the worst person I've ever seen elected to office, so...
Okay, I'll caveat it then. I'll say the worst compared to what they promised they were going to be. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
the most disappointing.
The most offensive.
Yeah, that's okay. It's offensive to the fact that it's a Labour Chancellor, right?
This is so fucking galling. So galling. And they'll deserve their inevitable defeat. It's just the problem is that the people that replace them will probably fucking reform. Or maybe the Tories in the coalition or something. I don't know.
At least reform will get rid of the 2-child benefit cap.
True. And institute the work camps. Whee! Yeah.
Well, take with one hand, give with the other.
Well, true. And also, work camps means jobs for people making work. Look, that's a national. That's a works program right there.
A job creator.
Exactly. He is. He really is a wealth creator. Old Nige.
On top of this, we are investing £1 billion to provide guaranteed, personalised employment support to help people back into work. And £400 million to support the Department for Work and Pensions and our job centres to deliver these changes effectively and fairly, taking total savings after that to the package to £3.4 billion. While spending on...
Which you added up to be £5 billion. Because you're bad at mathematics, you shouldn't be Chancellor of the Exchequer.
No, Kev. Her mum taught her how to make sure that the sums added up on the kitchen table.
Well, maybe she was a dozy fucker as well. I don't know. But like, literally, if you get your maths that badly wrong all the time, and you were surprised that there was a £22 billion hole, even though you were told, like, you're not fit for office. You just aren't.
On disability and sickness benefits will continue to...
Go on, Sarah.
apparently looking at the maths they got wrong last week, it looks like they assumed that no one would be incentivized to try and change whether they meet certain criteria might meet certain tick boxes to meet the criteria. Yeah, I mean, you'd expect so. People are, I'm having my money taken away. Maybe I should change the way I approach the system.
Yeah. If only they had anywhere near this amount of like absolute focus, laser focus on forcing rich bastards to actually pay their tax, and not trying to take tuppence halfpenny off the poorest in the world. Not world, country.
Or just any amount of looking at, again, some kind of different model than what we have at the moment, right? Just some fucking vision.
Well,
Literally anything other than just...
It's so frustrating. I was talking about this in the tiny amount of PMQs I got around to watching after Viv left. They literally talk as if their plan is the only thing that can happen. It's the one policy, right? It's the one position you're allowed to have. That you can't. One of his favourite phrases, old fucking robot Starmer, old disabled Harmer. Does that work? I don't know. Is that you can't? You can't be in favour of the positives like extra spending in the NHS or extra this, extra that, and oppose how we raise the taxes. Yeah, we can. Yeah, you fucking can. Okay, you can want more spending in that place, in those places, and attack the way in which you're going about raising that money. Yes, you fucking can. Yours is not the only model possible. You fucking bastard.
Yeah, because there's no one in a position of power or in a prominent position able to make the alternative argument, again, because everyone else who's already there believes in the one acceptable opinion.
Yeah. We need Gary. Gary's the ones who are going to save us. He's our only hope.
These plans mean that welfare spending as a share of GDP will fall between 2026 and the end of the forecast period. Very different to what we inherited from...
Thank you, Ella. I haven't heard tuppence halfpenny since my nana died. Is an amazing phrase which has made me feel very old. Thank you. And that is on top of making me feel very old. I watched a short on YouTube today that was entitled Music Your Parents Grew Up To, and it was the music I grew up to. And I felt so fucking old. Like, I just thought...
Give me some examples, Kev.
Blink 182. What was their big hit? I can't even...
Fucking hell.
Say it ain't so... I can't remember what the fucking song's called. Anyway, but that was a big hit back when in the hit parade when I was a youngster.
The famous beat combo, Blink 182.
Yes, a young trio from the Americas, no less.
Also, speaking of Blink 182,
yeah.
For my entire existence as a British person, my entire life as a child and as a teenager and a young adult, I called them Blink 182.
Same. In Britain, everyone called them that. Yeah.
So I was politely informed by Americans on the Clock app and by members of Blink 182 themselves
that it's pronounced
that the name is Blink 182.
182, yeah, not 182.
But there's nothing to say why it would be Blink 182. Why is it 182?
No, why isn't it 182? Yeah. Why is the one separated? There's no dash there.
Literally. Either you're Blink 182 or you're Blink 182.
Reminds me of the great Chad Johnson, the American football player, American football as in hand egg, rather than like actual football, who pretended to be Hispanic, so changed his surname to Ocho Cinco, because his number was 8 and 5, so 85, but without realizing that Ocho Cinco doesn't mean 85 in Spanish, it means 8-5. So he fucked it up. He literally changed his name and everything, and he totally bollocksed it. And the song was All the Small Things. Of course it was. Yeah, there you go. But I'm so old now. I reminisced with a girl once who I went to school with. We met up and went for a drink. It was nice. And I told her a thing that she didn't remember saying. This was wrong. So on Twitch here, you know, what's he called? The guy who was in the Offspring video, whose name I've totally fucking forgotten. Anyway. In that video for that song, the Pretty Fly for a White Guy, anyway, that was a big hit back in the day as well. And I remember her saying to me when we were both I don't know, 13. You're not cool enough to like that song. Which is like the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me. We were cool after, like she turned out not to be a complete prick, but she was then. And I just remember thinking that was the meanest thing anyone. Like, the fuck? I was into Offspring before you even. Fuck off, you prick. Really annoying.
I remember seeing Offspring headline Download in 2008.
Oh wow!
Real financial crash vibes. Who at Download Festival? Who are going to have as our big headliner? We have The Offspring. Okay.
Well, I mean, okay, that would have been a banger in 1998, though. I'm telling you.
True. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, Green Day still do dress like teenagers. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Someone mentioning Heaven is a Half Pint by OPM. My brother supported OPM at the Face Bar in Reading in like 2005 or some shit. 2006 potentially. Nice. It's crazy stuff.
I had a friend who was a support act, got on a support act role with Wheatus. If you remember them, Teenage Dirtbag, etc.
Dirtbag.
Yeah. They toured Britain back in the day. Oh, anyway, reminiscing about old people bands. I'm very old. You should give me money because these fuckers are not going to give me the heating allowance, are they? Jesus.
Yeah, but bands our audience's parents listen to.
I'm so disgustingly old. Honestly. Everyone should dress like teenagers. No, they shouldn't. I'm so fat now, I couldn't fit into the skinny jeans I used to wear. And my genitals are probably very happy about that, because I'll be honest with you, I was not giving them much space. They were cramped.
The party opposite. We are reforming our welfare system, making it more sustainable, protecting the most vulnerable, and most importantly, supporting more people back into secure work, lifting them out of poverty.
Do you want to talk about the 250,000 people, including 50,000 children, who are going to be in relative poverty at the end of this because of your changes?
50,000 children.
50,000 children, or about 2 months of Israeli airstrikes.
And that's what's crazy as well, you know, is that this is on top of all of the extra children who are going to be in poverty because of the 2-child benefit cap. They are piling impoverished children on top of a pile of already impoverished children.
Yeah. Fucking evil. But again, look at them. Absolute waste, men. A lot of these will be fucking gone. And they deserve to be gone. You deserve to lose.
Mr. Speaker, at the budget, I fixed the foundations of our economy.
Fix the foundations! She said the line! She said the line!
Bingo!
We're getting all the big
Work
hits.
has already begun. 2 million extra appointments in our NHS. Waiting lists down. New breakfast clubs opening across England. The largest settlements in real terms for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland in the history of devolution. Asylum costs falling, promises made, promises kept, and every single one of them opposed by the parties opposite. At the budget, alongside providing an increase in funding for this year and next, I set the envelope for the spending review, which we will deliver in June, led by my right honourable friend, the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, to set departmental budgets until 28-29 for day-to-day spending and until 2029-30 for capital spending. Today, I'm reflecting 2 steps that we have taken on our spending plans. First, because we are living in an uncertain world, as the Prime Minister has set out, we will increase defence spending to 2.5% of GDP, reducing...
Do you really... Are you so poor at comms that you've just got off the we're impoverishing the poor and you instantly go to we're massively increasing the spending on the defence sector? Are you literally trying to pit the poorest against the defence sector?
The welfare state turning into the warfare state.
Quite so. Quite so.
The point I was going to make, though, somebody asked that they haven't got then they just cut the settlement by a large amount because of benefits cuts for devolution. That's true, but because they're still engaging a lot of capital spending because of the Barnett formula, there's still an increase in the overall budget that gets dispersed to Holyrood by the Barnett formula. But the amount that they get for Social Security gets cut because the equivalent budget's been cut in the statement.
Yeah. Just quickly to Leckers, I did read your thing as it was going by, but I also don't really know what to say to that. I hope you're okay. is the thing. And thank you to Over the Historian with 1968 bitties. I presume that refers to the year you were born. Kev says he's old. That makes me archaeologic. Well, look at it this way. We're all old and we're going to die and we'll be forgotten, and that nothing we do will ultimately matter. Happy New Year.
Overseas aid to 0.3% of gross national income. This means we save £2.6 billion in day-to-day spending in 2029-30 to fund our more capital-intensive defence commitments. Second, in recent months, we have begun to fundamentally reform the British state, driving efficiency and productivity across government to deliver tangible savings and improve services across our country. Earlier this the Prime Minister set out plans to...
Are you saying, Rachel, that you have a Department of Government Efficiency?
Well, they've got Operation Chainsaw, so why not?
Why not? Why not? Just go the whole hog.
Yeah, fuck it. Honestly, you should come in where next time when you do the budget with an Occupy Mars t-shirt on.
To
Dark
abolish
Gothic
the
MAGA
arm's
hat.
length body NHS England and ensure that that money goes directly to improving the service for patients. My right honourable friend, the Health Secretary, is driving forward vital reforms to increase NHS productivity, bearing down on costly agency spend.
500 fucking votes!
100 votes. They're going to stop agency spend by just having the whole thing be a private contract instead.
Also, why does Pat McFadden look like a cross between Himmler and a fucking turtle? He's a
fucking turtle, doesn't he?
What happened to your fucking lips, mate? Where have they gone? Oh, he's such a weird little man.
To save money so that we can improve patient care. And my right
Look,
honourable...
if he wasn't evil, it'd be cute, wouldn't it? Like I'd have him as a pet, definitely. A little wrinkly turtle man.
friend, the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, is taking forward work to significantly reduce the costs of running government by 15%, worth £2 billion by the end of the decade. This work shows that we can make our state leaner and more agile, delivering more resources to the front line, while ensuring that we control day-to-day spending to meet our fiscal rules. Today, I build on that work by bringing forward £3.25 billion of investment to deliver the reforms that our public services need through a new transformation fund. That is money brought forward now to bring down the costs of running government by the end of the forecast period. By making...
Yay! She's literally worse than Nigel Farage! Woo!
Woo!
There's no need to fear reform getting in. They're already fucking here!
Literally, you have 5% cuts in every department. Well, we'll do 15% cuts in the running of government. Goodbye, civil servants, off you pop.
Brilliant.
Off to be unemployed, because
Fantastic.
apparently you don't care about getting people into work.
No, it's fine.
Public services more efficient, more productive, and more focused on the user. I can confirm today the first allocations from this fund, including funding for voluntary exit schemes to reduce the size of the civil service, pioneering AI tools to modernise the state, investment in top technology for the Ministry of Justice to deliver...
Yay! AI imperialism! Let's fucking go!
probation service.
Honestly, Grok will start taking over countries. You fucking mark my words.
Looking
This is
forward to it.
more
Do you see
effectively.
Grok? Oh, do you see Grok fucking destroy Elon on Twitter?
I did not. What happened?
So, Hassan and Elon have been getting into beef on the Bird app.
I
of all
did see
places.
this. I saw Assassin's Creed absolutely roast him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was in the replies to that Assassin's Creed tweet.
Okay.
Someone said, "Grok, please rate this burn out of 10," and Grok rated it a 9 out of 10.
No, you know what? I can't disagree with Grok on this one. It was a solid, solid burn.
And in its explanation, it just ripped the shit out of Elon Musk by calling him like thin-skinned and terminally online. It was very funny.
Like, imagine that. You've spent 44 billion on a platform to get roasted, and then extra to employ your AI on said app for that AI to roast you. Like,
love it.
I can understand why he's become so thin-skinned. It must be psychologically, that must be difficult. Like, if I get roasted, at least I can walk away from it going, it didn't cost me anything. He's 44 billion in the hole to get fucking burned. Oh, that's spicy. His wife, he was transphobic and obsessive about, like, his wife, or whatever. His wife left him for a trans woman, I should say, right? Amazing. A trans woman was ploughing his fucking missus. That would send someone,
literally.
like, as a transphobe, that would send you over the edge, wouldn't it?
Literally.
It would be like if someone went into J.K. Rowling, a trans person went into J.K. Rowling's house and stole all of her mould.
Literally. Or maybe clearly a trans person needs to go out and try and score a date with thingamajiggy, whatever her name is, Serafinovich, Graham Linehan's ex-wife.
Yes, that's true.
That would be fucking amazing.
Although interestingly, the having mentioned the cheese graterless man, it's interesting that he hasn't disavowed his friendship with the now convicted wife beater Joey Barton. But
he's convicted, is he?
Yeah, he was convicted yesterday. Yes, he got a 12-week suspended sentence because he's rich enough that he's not going to go to prison, even if he gets found guilty of repeatedly kicking his girlfriend in the his wife in the head. I
can't imagine anyone would have done that. Definitely not any elected MPs.
No, that's also true, yeah. But look, Linehan just wants to protect the women and the girls, obviously.
And upfront investment so we can support more children into foster care to give them the best possible start in life and reduce cost pressures in the future. Our work to make government leaner, more productive and more efficient will help deliver a further £3.5 billion of day-to-day savings.
Well, we've got an offer in chat. Vogel, I wish a trans person were to plough me. Well, anyone who fancies it, we've got an Austrian for the ploughing. If you fancy that, that's a thing that can happen. Letters on a fucking postcard.
By 2029-30. Overall, day-to-day spending will be reduced by £6.1 billion in 2029-30, and it will now grow by an average of 1.2% a year above inflation, compared to 1.3% in the autumn. Mr. Speaker, I can confirm to the House that day-to-day spending...
Vogel, we're not doing this. I mean, thank you for gifting a sub. I appreciate that. But I'm not doing, like, sex shout-outs for money. That's not... This is not a quid pro quo situation. I don't want you to get into that thinking, okay?
Will increase in real terms above inflation in every single year of the forecast. And in the spending review, apart from the reductions in overseas aid, day-to-day spending across government has been fully protected. I can also confirm our approach to capital investment. In the autumn budget, I announced £100 billion of additional capital spending to crowd in investment from the private sector to fix our crumbling infrastructure. And to
the private sector will solve everything. I'm sure they're definitely going to fix our crumbling infrastructure. The fuck are you talking about?
No. BlackRock will build. They will build the future infrastructure of the country. A national renewal of BlackRock's financial position.
Just doing PFI 2.0 electric boogaloo isn't going to fucking solve it. PFI 1 was bad enough. We're still fucking paying for that a generation later. Just fucking spend public money on projects of public good. It's not that fucking difficult. Oh.
But we're going to get defence spending. They're going to be building some bombs.
Fantastic.
You'll be able to feed your kids with bombs.
You definitely can. What I think we need to do is just give that money to Israel directly instead. They need it. Clearly. Fucking joke.
Create jobs in every corner of our country. Today, I am not cutting capital spending, as the party opposite did, time and time again, because that choked off growth, and it left our school roofs literally crumbling. That was the wrong choice. It was the irresponsible choice. It was the Tory.
It's so cute that she's pretending not to do austerity. It's very cute.
Choice. Today, I am instead increasing capital spending by an average of £2 billion per year compared with the autumn to drive growth in our economy and to
Wow, 2 billion? Woo! And most of that will go to Raytheon shareholders. Yippee! It's
Looking
nothing.
forward to that.
It's nothing.
What's frustrating is that, is that everything is so small fry. Like, it's fine to say we're doing these infrastructure projects. It's fine to say we're boosting capital spending in all these different areas, right? It's absolutely fine to say that these are things you're planning on doing. Not a problem. But the level of ambition is just so weak.
Well, we warned. It's tinkering around the edges. Even the good things they're doing are tinkering. It's fucking embarrassing. It's almost like they've got Rachel from accounts and fucking Keith from the legal department to run the country. They're fucking useless.
deliver in full our vital commitments on defence. This government will ensure that every pound we spend will deliver for the British people by increasing productivity, driving growth in our economy and improving our frontline public services. Mr. Speaker, let me turn now to the impact of increased uncertainty on our economy.
Also, just as an aside, whilst they're taking away money from the disabled, the MPs are about to vote on giving themselves a £2,500 pay rise.
I think what's funny is that the defence of this has always been, well, it's completely independent. And I'm like, but still appointed by the government.
Yeah.
People who do these things. And the thing is, right, is that, sure, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, who cares, you know? But anyone who wants to come out and defend it, they say, well, we didn't want it, but we can't give it back. And it's like, just give it to charity, you know?
Yeah, you can.
Nigel Whittam did it, Dennis Skinner did it, you can do it.
Yeah. And all of the other expenses, like, did you see £7 million to renovate the Speaker's house? £7 million.
What was that for, sorry?
For the renovation of Speaker Lindsay Hoyle's house.
Excellent. I'm glad that's a very good... Excellent. Sounds like a very good use of public money.
But, you know, every pound is going to go for the British people's good. Didn't you know? Like, I didn't expect them to be more corrupt. And yet, like, almost, it's such a perfect example. They're less, they've stolen less money, but that's because they're less adventurous. They're more pathetically tinkering around the edges. They're more morally corrupt in some ways than the Tories. It's just their ambition is so low that their compass goes to, like, tickets to Sabrina Carpenter rather than 200 million quid.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, it's worse because of how cheap they are to buy.
Exactly. They don't even have the balls to go down the fucking pub and sell, you know, public projects to their mate for a round of drinks or whatever the fuck it is. Like, they don't even have the balls to do it properly. Oh, well, I'll just take a few suits and a dress for my wife and some glasses, please. And you can have the country.
Also, non-binary makes it breaking news, apparently. Contact information, such as emails and phone numbers belonging to Donald Trump's top advisors and ministers, are open online, reports Der Spiegel. Passwords can also be found, and this applies to accounts for platforms such as LinkedIn and Instagram. And the people affected include National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard, and Defence Minister Pete Hegseth.
Oh, should we email them? Should we just email these people and say... my name is Xi Jinping. I'd like some nuclear codes, please. And they'll probably add us to the nuclear codes chat group, I reckon.
Just on like an Instagram message to fucking the JD Vance.
It's like the Russians and the Chinese probably spend a fuck lot of money, right, on all kinds of crazy encryption schemes and fucking trying to implant deep state fucking actors and blah blah blah. And all they needed to do was just wait till Donald Trump got in and then just join the fucking text group. Join the WhatsApp for the fucking nuclear codes. That's it. That's all they have to do. Buy a ticket at Mar-a-Lago and Trump will just tell you everything. You don't even need to spy. He'll just tell you.
Literally, or just wander into Mar-a-Lago and just pick up all the classified documents that are hanging in the basement.
Yeah, just go for a shit. And while you're dropping a log, read all about the fucking, fucking security codes at Fort Knox. That's why there's no fucking gold there. The Chinese nicked it because they left the fucking passcode lying around.
They know that Donald Trump isn't a real populist, because if he was going to release classified information for lulsies to charm his followers, why is he telling us what's in Area 51?
True. Well, that's, I mean, presumably it's for the same reason that he won't release the Epstein files, because he's a fucking alien. And so releasing the Area 51 thing would out him, you know, as a pedophile alien. That's canon now.
Pedophilian.
A pedophilia. That just makes them sound like they're a legitimate thing. Anyway, do you think we could just ask to join? Yeah, probably. Like, there's no way Beijing and Moscow don't know everything.
Stop it.
If the fucking Atlantic journalist can get access, I'm guessing they didn't have to fight too hard. Also, just a congratulations to the butter emails people, because they've been having fun. Last couple of days have been a riot for them. And you know what? God bless them. They're not necessarily evil. They're just annoying liberals.
There were so many excellent reasons to hate Hillary Clinton, right? Like, Libya is a country of slave markets because of her, you know?
Yeah.
And they got angry about the fucking email server.
Yeah. And I love them trying to downplay it. Oh, there wasn't any national security stuff. Motherfucker, I can literally see F-35 launching at such and such a time. That seems like that's some national security information, actually. Like, you know, we can see the texts, yeah? And also, just while we're on it, not that it matters anymore because we all realise that international law was a fucking phony pile of shit to begin with, but just casually admitting that the person you think is Hamas's rocket guy, or whatever, went into a building, and then you bombed that building, killing everyone inside. That's a war crime.
It's the only way. It's the only way, Kevin.
That's literally a war crime. You're just admitting we're doing war crimes. That isn't even part of the story. That's actually fine. I haven't seen any liberals have a go at that. That's fine. Bomb away. Thank you, says Thomas, for gifting. No, for subscribing. Much love to you. Don't forget, if you're enjoying whatever the fuck this is, I don't know. Look, I feel like you've taken steps down today. You started at Navarra, good, solid journalism, big platform. Step down. He's good journalism, but slightly smaller platform, but good show with Curtis. And then you're in the gutter now. You've stepped down into the gutter.
I am really flagging because I've not had much sleep last night. So you're really carrying the stream, Kevin. So I couldn't thank you more.
Oh, thank you. But you're going to get that baguette boost soon. You'll be fine. You'll eat your second
True. I'll
win.
get that slow release bread energy. The brenergy.
Brenergy. Thank you. Oh no, I says Thomas, didn't I? Yeah, you can give us money. Is the point I was trying to make, in the form of bits and subs and subscriptions and super chats.
Gift the memberships. Boost the stream.
True.
To deliver economic stability, we must work closely with the Bank of England, supporting the Independent Monetary Policy Committee to meet their 2% inflation target. There have been 3 interest rate cuts since the general election, and today's data showed that inflation fell in February. Having peaked at 11% under the previous government, the OBR forecast that CPI inflation will average 3.2% this year before falling rapidly to 2.1% in 2026 and meeting the 2% target from 2027 onwards. Giving families and businesses
I mean, this is a broader point, but it's sort of the problem of capitalism, that even 1% growth isn't enough. It has to be not just growth, but growth upon growth every year, otherwise it's a failure. You can't. That's not how any system can possibly work.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just a lot of growth, especially since obviously we've got an increasing population. Like, well, that some growth is there, but a lot of the growth is just relying on technological innovation. I mean, there's just no reason to do it in the UK economy. Why would you, when you can make loads more money just pumping all your extra liquidity into an already oversaturated property market and taking it away from poor people paying extortionate rents?
Yep.
Security that they need and providing our economy with the stable platform it needs to grow. Mr. Speaker, earlier this month, the OECD downgraded this year's growth forecast for every G7 economy, including the UK. And the OBR have today revised down our growth forecast for 2025, from 2% in the autumn to 1% today. I am not satisfied with these numbers, and that is why we on this side of the House are serious about taking the action needed to grow our economy.
So we're going to kill loads of poor people and hope that the bread line go up.
And we're going to force disabled people who are currently working to be to fall out of the job market because we're taking away the thing that supports them to stay in work. Yeah, fucking well done. Bravo. Excellent work.
And when that doesn't work, they'll say, we didn't go far enough, we need to cut more. Because they're Tories. They're literally just
Well,
Tories.
essentially the same dynamic that we've had by George Osborne, right?
Yeah.
And they even say it, they even narrativize it as such. We inherited a broken welfare system. The Tories weren't punitive enough.
Yep. And literally, you can tell that that's their only answer, because when they found that she was 1.4 billion short, on top of the fuck up she already made, rather than going, oh, can we squeeze out a tax rise somewhere, or can we? No, just cut the same thing from the same people, but more. Just squeeze that fucking rock until they're all bleeding.
Builders, not the blockers, with a third runway at Heathrow Airport and the Planning and Infrastructure Bill. Increasing investment with reforms to our pension system and a new national wealth fund. And tearing down regulatory barriers in every sector of our economy. That is a serious plan for growth. That is a serious plan to improve living standards. That is a serious plan to renew our country. Mr. Speaker, a changing world presents challenges, but it also presents new opportunities for new jobs and new contracts in our world-class defence industrial centres, from Belfast to Deeside and from Plymouth to Rosyth. In February, the Prime Minister set out our government's commitment to increase spending on defence to 2.5% of GDP from April 2027.
And we never ever have to justify that in any way whatsoever. That's just accepted and good.
Yep, it's the same. Well, it is part and parcel of the acceptable opinion. Therefore, it goes without question.
Yeah.
Biggest sustained increase in defence.
Also, why does this man's face look like the skin on your feet after you've been in the shower for too long?
Looking forward to him in the ICC anytime soon.
Hopefully.
Spending since the end of the Cold War, with an ambition to spend 3% of GDP on defence in the next Parliament. That was the right decision in a more insecure world, putting an extra £6.4 billion into defence spending by 2027. But we have to move quickly in this changing world, and that starts with investment. So today I can confirm that I will provide an additional £2.2 billion for the Ministry of Defence in the next financial year, a further down payment on our plans to deliver 2.5% of GDP by 2027. This additional investment is not just about increasing our national security, but increasing our economic security too. As defence spending rises, I want the whole country to feel its benefits. So I will now set out the immediate steps that we are taking to boost Britain's defence industry and to make the UK a defence industrial superpower.
Yeah. We aren't ever going to be that. Can we stop pretending it isn't the fucking 19th century? We're going to be a super... No, we're not. No, we're not. We need to stop pretending. Because we're living way above our fucking means, having weapons that we can't afford for wars that we can't afford.
And that's it after they've spent talking about being a clean energy superpower before the election. And now we're going to be a defence superpower. They just... That is what all politicians in the UK, all politicians can do in the UK is eat hot chip, imperial nostalgia and lie.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though, right? It would be really green if a nuclear holocaust happens and all of the people die, no more carbon emissions. Just thinking, modern problems require modern solutions.
Expert.
Yeah. And we've had a case of Black Death this week, so that's nice. Little fact for you.
At least we've got Bambos Charalambos in the background to keep us company.
You what, sorry?
At least we've got Bambos Charalambos in the background to keep us company.
True. Bambos Charalambos.
And a minimum of
That's named
10% of the Ministry of Defence's equipment budget on new novel technologies.
No, my favourite, the new Tory, Lewis Cocking.
Including drones and AI-enabled technology. Driving forward advanced manufacturing production in places like Glasgow, in Derby and in Newport. Creating demand for highly skilled engineers and scientists, and delivering new business opportunities for UK tech firms and startups. We will establish a protected budget of £400 million within the Ministry of Defence, a budget that will rise over time for UK defence innovation, with a clear mandate to bring innovative technology to the front line at speed. And we will reform our broken defence procurement system, making it quicker, more agile and more streamlined, and giving small businesses across the UK better access to Ministry of Defence contracts, something welcomed by the Federation of Small Businesses. We will take forward our plan for Barrow, a town at the heart of our nuclear security, working with my honourable friend, the member for Barrow and Furness, and providing £200 million, supporting the creation of thousands of jobs there. We will regenerate Portsmouth Naval Base, securing its future, as called for by my honourable friend, the member for Portsmouth South. We will secure better homes for thousands of military families, the homes that they deserve, denied to them by the previous governments. Homes for our military...
Okay, chat, you do have to specify. So someone in my chat says, MTG went ape at a British journalist and told them to go back to your own country. Right? And I went, what do you mean, Helena? And they went, no, not Helena, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Why would you think that I would assume Marjorie Taylor Greene when I'm literally on a call with No Justice MTG?
I mean, it is definitely open to some interpretation. There are some assumptions that would be made there, though. There's relevant information that would be important to understand.
Yeah, like, also you could have just said Helena. That's a big differential between her and the member for wherever the fuck she is. I don't know where the fuck she's from. Somewhere in buttfuck America. Yeah. Also, yeah, I can't wait to I don't know if he's in chat or not, but the Jack Mellor, I'd like to interview at some point. Now that he's a candidate. But being that I'm a British journalist and he's a Green Party candidate, I will have to waggle a burger in his face.
True, and also throw some Lego bricks onto the table.
Throw a pint glass full of Lego bricks for no real fucking reason. Yeah. The precedent has been set. I wouldn't want him to feel uncomfortable, you know.
Military families in constituencies of my honourable friends for Plymouth.
Who the fuck's that big lad that just sat down as well? On the end, hang on.
Homes for our military...
Who's he? I've never seen that man before in my life.
Me neither.
Pink tie. But he's on the front bench, so like he's got to be somebody. Who the fuck is he?
Let me have a look.
Is he like that guy? Do you remember the guy that used to sneak out and try and take part in all of the player lineups to do the national anthems, and it was just a bloke in the kit?
It is.
Even Google
Alan
doesn't
Campbell.
know. Alan Campbell. What position does he hold?
Chief Whip, Parliament Secretary of the Treasury. Hence why he's on the front bench today. He's a junior minister, but he does attend cabinet.
Okay.
Families in constituencies of my honourable friends for Plymouth Moorview, Plymouth Sutton and Devonport, York Outer and in Aldershot. That is the difference that this Labour government is making.
Yeah. All over Britain. Just name 3 places in England. Brilliant.
Finally...
I wonder why the Scots and the fucking Welsh don't think you've got their best interests at heart. And why you're going to lose all your fucking seats in those places, you pricks.
Yeah, it's a mystery now.
Mr. Speaker, we will provide £2 billion of increased capacity for UK export finance.
Vogel.
To provide loans for overseas buyers of UK defence goods and services, because I want to do more with our defence budget so we can buy and make and sell things here in Britain.
That's just another way of the taxpayer underwriting the profits of arms contractors. Literally, that's all that does.
But think of the growth. Think of the military Keynesianism, Kevin. That's going to grow the economy.
It's literally not how that works. It just means that we've privatised the cost, and we've nationalised the cost of it potentially, whilst privatising none of the profit. Because we don't get a cut of the profit if they do pay up, but if they don't, the taxpayer gives money to arms contractors for nothing.
Giving further opportunities for our world-leading defence companies and those who work in them to grow and create jobs here in Britain as military spending rightly increases all across Europe.
Increases.
To oversee all of this vital work, my right honourable friend, the Defence Secretary, and I will establish a new Defence Growth Board to maximise the benefits from every pound of taxpayers' money that we spend. And we will put defence at the heart of our modern industrial strategy to drive innovation.
They're gonna try with this crap. Military Keynesianism. Fucking hell.
What's so frustrating is that the modern industrial strategy, the modern industrial strategy was supposed to be about green infrastructure and renewable energy, right? That was their whole shtick for their
and housing and stuff
plan,
as well.
right?
But yeah.
And now they moved a bunch of money away from that into putting into increasing defence spending. And I'm like, well, how are you going to have cost-effective defence spending? We don't have any cheap energy to use to power the industrial capacity that's going to be there for military manufacturing.
And literally, military manufacturing jobs are some of the least efficient ways of spending government money in terms of creation of jobs. Because it's very expensive and not many people are employed to do it.
And of course, the actual products don't go and circulate in the economy.
Nope.
They just get bought by the Defence Department and sit in a fucking hangar.
Yep. They go to RAF Akrotiri, or they go to, fucking
well, if they're in
Portland.
Akrotiri, they won't be sitting in a hangar.
Well, no, that's true. If they go there, they will be used as reconnaissance vehicles to help the Israeli government more efficiently kill children.
Textbook.
That can deliver huge benefits back into the British economy. Mr. Speaker, that is how we make our country a defence industrial superpower. So the skills of the future, the jobs of the future, and the opportunities of the future can be found right here in the United Kingdom. Mr. Speaker, as the previous government learned to their detriment, there are no shortcuts to economic growth. It will take long-term decisions.
Yeah, you're not doing shortcuts. You're doing very, very long cuts. Yes, we know.
But the funny is that the irony, of course, is that the when it comes to like the welfare cuts and shit, it is literally sticking past the politics. That's literally what it is. Where it's just like, well, we don't have the money to put into the NHS to get people who are of incapacity off the waiting list so they can become fit for work. We're just going to just take money away and just expect the problem to go away.
Yeah. Andreas, I mean, I'll probably be covering question time tomorrow. We usually do, but probably is the answer. Stay tuned.
Take hard yards. It will take time for the reforms that we are introducing to be felt in the everyday economy. It is right that the Office for Budget Responsibility...
Yeah, it's going to take some time for these disabled people to actually starve to death. So just hold tight and there'll be fewer of them. Osborne.
Consider the evidence and look carefully at measures before recognising a growth impact in their forecast. But, Mr. Speaker, I can announce to the House that the OBR have considered and have scored one of the central planks of our plan for growth. In my first week as Chancellor, I announced that we were pursuing the most ambitious set of planning reforms in decades to get Britain building again. And in December, we published changes to the National Planning Policy Framework, driven forward tirelessly by my right honourable friend, the Deputy Prime Minister. Reintroducing mandatory housing targets.
See, this is why I can't vibe with her, because, she's achieved some stuff, I guess, as vice president, as Deputy Prime Minister, but, she'll sit there and smugly smile during all of this shit. She'll sit there and just nod along and she'll vote through the evil fucking shit so that she can get marginal improvements to housing regulation.
Again, it's
it gives me the kind of vibes of we allowed swinging cuts to benefits so that we got a 5p bag tax. It's like that shit all over again.
I mean, yeah, it's on like a larger scale, rather than being in a coalition of inconvenience. You are literally standing under the fucking party banner.
Yep.
Bringing grey belt land into scope. The OBR have today concluded.
What's grey belt?
Because like places that are, I mean, it's mostly just like disused areas that aren't greenbelt.
I was about to say, isn't that just brownfield sites? Because it was previously used and is no longer used. It's just a brownfield site, right?
I mean, I think it's like, but it's near the green belt or something like. I forget the exact definition, right? But it's not like it's somewhere that could technically be. It's like on the edge of where the green belt would be, but in not like a green area. It's a very weird definition, or maybe it's thing that technically classes as green belt, but isn't actually green or a belt.
So you could say it's something of a grey area.
I think that's
these reforms,
right? Yeah, probably.
Will permanently.
Whoever came up with that in Whitehall was laughing their little balls off. Oh, it's a green belt area. He's going to be made unemployed. It's fine.
Increase the level of real GDP by 0.2% in 29-30, an additional £6.8 billion for our economy. And by 0.4% of GDP within 10 years, an additional £15.1 billion in our British economy. Mr. Speaker, that is the biggest positive growth impact that the OBR have ever reflected in their forecast for a policy.
Yeah, Marcel brings up a good point. It's annoying that Keynesianism is only ever brought up for military spending or weird things like the Olympic Games, all of which are examples of where it doesn't fucking work. Financially, anyway. Like, you can still run a successful Olympic Games, but you're then left with eyesores that don't fucking work afterwards, or you have to, like, sell the fucking stadium for a penny to West Ham or something, you know? Ridiculous.
Oh, my phone's run out of battery. Sorry, chat. I'm just going to turn my camera thing off so you don't have to weird paused face of mine.
For a policy with no fiscal cost. And taken together with our plans to increase capital spending that we set out in the budget last year, this government's policies will increase the level of real GDP by 0.6% in the next 10 years. Mr. Speaker, that is the difference that this Labour government is making.
But what difference does it make if the economy grows by 0.6% if you're leaving tens of thousands of people poor? Like, more on top of the ones that were already poor.
Kevin, have you not considered that the red line is going up? I think you're failing to take into account the change in the incline of the red line.
That is true. I've failed the red line.
Policies to grow our economy. Promises by a Labour government, delivered by a Labour government, opposed by the parties opposite.
Yeah, because they're shit. They're opposed by the opposition parties. Yeah, what a fucking surprise.
Mr. Speaker, the planning system that we inherited was far too slow. The OBR have concluded that our reforms will lead to house building reaching a 40-year high. 305,000 homes a year by the end of the forecast period. And changes to the National Planning Policy Framework alone will help build over 1.3 million homes in the UK over the next 5 years, taking us within touching distance of delivering our manifesto promise to build 1.5 million homes in England in this Parliament. Homes promised by this Labour government, homes built by this Labour government, homes opposed by the parties opposite.
Just because they're going to be totally unaffordable for the vast majority of people.
And even then, like, what's the guarantee we're actually going to get enough built to be able to satisfy demand, right? That's the problem, you know? Increasing supply, great. Glad to have more houses. We need to build more. But how many do you need to build to actually significantly reduce house prices to make them affordable?
Yep.
The impact on our economy goes further still. I said at the election that we could not simply tax and spend our way to prosperity.
Yeah, we know, Gideon. Yeah, we know. That is what you said.
We need economic growth. So I can today confirm that the effect of our growth policies, including our planning reforms, means an additional £3.4 billion to support our public finances and our public services by 2029-30. The proceeds of growth, promised by this Labour government, delivered by this Labour government, opposed by the parties opposite. Mr. Speaker, earlier this week, we provided an additional £2 billion of investment in social and affordable homes next year, delivering up to 18,000 new homes.
Will make no fucking difference.
Wow, we have it's like the bargain hunt meme. Total profit £2.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking, that's not even tinkering at the edges.
We were building 10 times this in the post-war period.
Yeah.
10 times.
This is like barely sniffing the edge.
Allowing local areas to bid for new development across our country, including sites in Thanet, in Sunderland and in Swindon. More
just in England again.
Security for families.
I'm not sure if that devolved. I don't know. Anyway.
Families across our country, promised by this Labour government, delivered by this Labour government and opposed by the parties opposite. And to build these new homes, we need people with the right skills. Earlier this week, my right honourable friend, the Education Secretary, announced more than £600 million to train up 60,000 more construction workers, including with 10 new technical excellence colleges across every region of our country.
What fucking world do you live in? 600 million is going to build you 10 new technical colleges. I'm sorry, did we go back to 1971? What fucking...
Yeah, I find that difficult to believe.
600 million? The UK government could lose that down the back of the sofa. That's nothing. It's literally nothing. Look, if they're just going to build like a little wing on the end of an already existing thing and pretend that works, look, with the new hospitals, they're not new and they're not hospitals. But, you know, we're going to add a thing and then call it a new hospital. It's all just government by smoke and mirrors bullshit all the fucking time. And it doesn't change no matter which side's in.
Yep, it's so depressing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the Greens might just be the answer, man. I don't know.
Giving working people the chance to fulfil their potential. New opportunities for our young people. Promised by this Labour government, delivered by this Labour government, opposed by the parties opposite.
Is there a fucking echo? Like, yeah, we get it.
Mr. Speaker, all this is just the start. The planning...
You what, sorry?
It's the switch that's at the back. She's just stuck in the same, like, repetitive mode.
Yeah, it's like those old dolls where you pull the string on the back and they've got, like, 4 things they can say.
And infrastructure bill passed its second reading on Monday. No thanks to the parties opposite. Once this bill completes its passage, it will help deliver the homes and infrastructure our country badly needs. And I say to the parties opposite, the British people will be watching.
You cheeky bitch. Honest to God, how fucking dare you? How dare you stand there and talk gleefully about the evisceration of the poorest in society, and then turn around and say, you opposition parties ought to be aware that the public are watching? Yeah? Get fucked.
I mean, she's not wrong. I am watching, but I'm not liking.
Yeah.
Because if the parties opposite don't support these reforms, let us be clear about what that means. They are opposing economic growth. They are opposing more homes for families. They are opposing good jobs across our country. We on this side are clear about whose side we are on. The parties opposite must decide too. This Labour government is...
She literally goes on to say that they're the real anti-growth coalition.
I mean, it might as well be. Might as well do.
No, but she literally did. She literally said it later on in answer to somebody in the debate.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, because literally praying in aid, fucking the least successful Prime Minister ever. That's a winning stratagem, you think?
I mean, it is very funny to me how that's that. Like, I mean, Tom Harwood in his blog praised Rachel Reeves as the heir to Liz Truss, so that should tell you something.
Honestly, if that guy got arse cancer, I would laugh. I'm just going to put that out there.
Is taking the right decisions now to secure Britain's future. And today I can confirm to the House that the OBR have upgraded their growth forecast next year and every single year thereafter. With GDP growth,
Listen to that noise, and at no point does the speaker go, maybe I should intervene, because they're literally screaming now.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, again, it's all part of the fun, though, right?
Well, it is, but like, this is parliamentary debate, is it? So I can't say that a person's drunk even if they're literally pissing themselves.
I mean,
on the
that's
thing.
true.
Like, and I can't call someone a stool pigeon, but I can literally just scream abuse at the Chancellor.
You can't even say that they're lying when they're obviously lying.
Yeah, exactly. You may have inadvertently misled them. You can't use the word dodgy. Yeah. Although still my favourite Dennis Skinnerism. The only thing growing in the 80s were the lines of coke in front of Boy George, meaning George Osborne, not. I mean, to be fair, Boy George, the singer, probably did have lines of coke in front of him as well. But he was successful in the 80s, I'll let him off. Also, he ballooned afterwards. There's a lesson for you there, kids.
with GDP growth of 1.9% in 2026, of 1.8% in 2027, 1.7% in 2028, and 1.8% in 2029. Mr. Speaker.
Wow, 0.1% each year. You should be very proud of nothing, of achieving nothing, and eviscerating millions of people to do it. Bravo.
The entire speech is bargain hunt. It's the bargain hunting over and over and over again.
Look at the smile on her face. 0.7%, and then the next year, 1.8%. We increased by 0.1%, and we just had to eviscerate entire sections of society to do it. Yay!
Yay!
Oh god, amazing. No wonder Keir Starmer looks like he's whited out on a bad pill. Look at him. Just absolutely gone. There's nothing behind those eyes.
By the end of the forecast, our economy is larger compared to the OBR's forecast at the time of the budget. That is the difference that this Labour government is making. But, Mr. Speaker, this isn't just about lines on a graph. It's about improving people's lives. Working people are still feeling the pinch after a cost of living crisis caused by the party opposite that caused interest rates and inflation to go through the roof. So I am pleased that the OBR confirmed...
Literally, just screaming. You can hear them. Just fucking screaming like demons from the other side of the chamber. And he's too busy, like, I don't know, dreaming of his fucking house that we've just refurbished.
Today, that real household disposable income will now grow this year at almost twice the rate expected in the autumn. Compared to the forecast in the final budget delivered by the party opposite, and after taking into account inflation, the OBR say today that people will be, on average, over £500 a year better off under this Labour government.
Right, but if you take out the billionaires, where does that leave us? Because I'm guessing we're not in the pro column.
That will mean more money in the pockets of working people, higher living standards promised by this Labour government, delivered by this Labour government, opposed by the parties opposite. Mr. Speaker, the world is changing. We can see that and we can feel it. A changing world demands a government that is on the side of working people, acting in their interest, acting in the national interest, not retreating from challenges, not stepping back, but a government with the courage to step up, to secure Britain's future, and to seize the opportunities that are out there before us. I am impatient for change. The British people are impatient for change after 14 years of failure. And we are beginning to see change happen. Our plan for change is working. Defence spending is rising. Waiting lists are falling. Wages are up. Interest rates are cut. That is the difference that this Labour government is making. And today, Mr. Speaker.
Wow, she was really hurt by Laura Koonsberg asking, "Are you even a Labour Chancellor?" Wasn't she?
But it's like, it's just so frustrating to watch just all of this political capital just fucking evaporate, you know?
Yeah.
Off of the gigantic majority that they've got after getting, they were not like hated when they got into government. It was very quick that they became hated. They didn't start off hated, and they could have done literally anything, and they're choosing to do this.
Yeah.
The OBR confirm that our plan to get Britain building will drive growth in our economy and put more money in people's pockets. There are no quick fixes, but we have taken the right choices. Returning stability to our economy after years of mismanagement by the party opposite. Delivering security for our country and security for working people. That is what drives this government. That is what drives me as Chancellor. That is what drives the choices that I have set out today. And I commend this statement to the House.
Honestly,
Right, can I sleep now?
Yeah, get fucked. Yeah, no, not you get fucked. She can get fucked. The whole Labour Party can get fucked. All of them. They're fucking scum. And I will look forward to their inevitable fucking decline. And on that bombshell,
Woo.
yeah, you go and sleep. You've had a long
This was
one.
almost certainly going to happen. Is there's going to be this report showing how many disabled people have become screwed over by the government, and that's going to be all over the press, and they're going to pretend like they didn't just fucking co-sign all of this shit.
Yep. Of course they will, because they're fucking evil. But it won't work, because the only people who they could have won round, maybe people like you and I, potentially, if they'd had any semblance of a progressive government, will have completely abandoned them. And the 12 people in Essex that they were trying to get, who were reform voters, won't ever go to them. So they're fucked. They've sold themselves completely. Or should I say, they've sold the country to hedge fund managers who gave them money to.
Yep, who bought the party through Labour Together.
Indeed. Yes. So check that out, I guess. Everyone go and follow No Justice MTG on the various platforms.
Likewise, do the same with KF Logan 1875 and on platforms of many types, many different shades of platform.
Very much true. Okay, I'm going to go over to. I don't know who's going. Noisy Immigrant.
Yeah, Noisy Immigrant sounds good to me. YouTubers, I'm going to send you into my left eye. And we'll both be back tomorrow for question time.
Indeed so, yes. If I can fucking find the thing. There we go. Okay, everyone, go and follow No Justice MTG on the platforms. And as always, Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Goodbye.
See you later, everyone. Goodbye.